Hello, hello. Happy Wednesday. Hey, Phaedric. Hey, Galaxy Inferno. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Fake first. I was pretty close to real first. Just that darn Phaedric. And hey, David. Yeah, hello, everybody. I have been I like a little off, not a lot off, just a little off. I don't know if it's just I'm tired or it's overwork or it's the kind of work or if it's streaming or if it's something else. I'm not totally sure what. But yeah, I don't know if I'll stream this afternoon, but I want to stream this morning. And if there's momentum, hopefully we just carry on and keep working into the afternoon. But yeah, yesterday, so I got done. I did I work on anything actually all that interesting? Not really, I'd say. I did a bunch of grunt work. I did something else. I don't remember what. Yeah, I don't remember. I think I might have. Yeah, I'll just look at the commit log rather than guess. Because there's no point in guessing. So let's do that and then click this. Yeah. All right, yesterday after the stream. Yeah, barely anything it looks like. But I did change the platformer a little bit. You're on time today, that's right. No, it's not chat. In fact, if anything, it's kind of the opposite of what that would be insinuating. I feel like the stream has been dying down a lot. And as a result, like some things that I'd like to have be conversations aren't. There's just almost no input. And I think if I wanted to fix that, I think there'd be a few things. One is like make content on other platforms. This is a sign I need to clean my keyboard. Make content on other platforms and probably like have dedicated chat times. Right now I'm pretty productive throughout the day, and I will chat with people and interact, of course, but without having dedicated time, I think some people are just like, oh yeah, I'm not going to interrupt. And I just keep thinking like, but my main goal is just to do game dev. So I don't know. I'm torn on this. Mouse is slow. Yeah, it's not capybara enough. Hey pickle. Is the stream dying down or the section? Well, I mean, the stream is dying down. It might be because the section's dying down. I think that is part of it. I don't know if Twitch as a whole has any kind of issues, but if we go to categories here and look at software and game dev, yeah, it's 2.2K viewers. Usually there are a few really like big streams or one or two big streams. Actually, in this case, there are... No, never mind. Okay, it's like pretty well spread throughout. Yeah, but still, I mean, 2,000 isn't a ton. I don't know why that got held for review. Yeah, that was weird. And you spent your channel points for that. Yeah. Yeah, I should look into that. I'll go fix Mercury. So yeah, one of the things I want to show off here really quickly is I worked on the platform background. It might not be obvious, although probably a lot of you have now seen this kind of starting area. So now you can see there's blue, red, and yellow all on the same screen. And as you jump, there's a parallax effect. So you can see water in the background, but it's not moving at the same rate that you are. And the clouds are now animated. So you can see them slowly moving across the screen. They were static before this. And the water is animated. That's shimmering in the background. That's also animated. And then you get to the top of the world, and now there are lots of clouds, and those should also be moving, I think. Let's see. Yeah. So I think this scene now, like this specific one scene now looks a lot nicer. Like we see the shimmering in the background. We see the clouds moving. We see all the different colors of the sky that we have here. And then when you fall, it looks a little bit even glitchier than before, which is kind of a nice effect. Like you're seeing the water slowly fade up. This is meant to look glitchy, so it's fine that that happens. So I spent a decent amount of time on that yesterday. But yeah, all in all, I don't really think I did what I should have been doing. I don't know. Anyway, let's get to it. So we are going to add treasure chests into the game. Let's go find out where we have those assets. Here. Items, maybe? No. Tile set? Wait a second. Do they not have treasure chests? Oh, boy. I think there's a treasure chest in one of these. Yeah. Where is that? Oh, it might be in props. Yeah. Okay. So we got to go find this. Does anyone see treasure chest? Yeah, here it is. Chest. Okay, good. Yeah. I was going to say, I'd be very surprised if we didn't have one. Then again, it's very easy to find other treasure chests as placeholders for right now. So silver or gold, if we have the difference between minor and major items, we might want to do some silver and some gold. But I think let's just start with the gold one for now. So we'll render it in the first frame, and then when it opens, we'll do the whole animation. Sounds good. Okay, so let's kick this off over here. I'll do new work tree. We'll do soul high. These require attribution, or is it just behind a purchase? It all depends on the pack itself. So this one in particular, usually you just search for credit. Credit is not required, but appreciated. I ignore all of this and just put people in the credits. So like if someone says, oh, you don't have to, I'm like, whatever. I'm still going to put them there. So yeah. Well, I guess I've never seen anyone say this, like, don't give me credit. But I guess if they did, I would be ignoring that and giving them credit anyway. So, but yeah, I can't imagine anyone wanting to do that if you're selling your artwork. Probably want more people to know about it. All right, so can I paste this in here? Whoop. There we go. Okay, so I want to add treasure chests to the backtracking platformer. The code is probably going to be pretty similar. The code and functionality. It's probably going to be pretty similar to, we have another treasure chest, right? So look at that and refactor where necessary. Hey, TJ. Please do not associate me to your trash game. Yeah, probably some are just like asset flips. In fact, I've been wondering about this. I don't know if I've ever played a game that I would call an asset flip. I wonder if people are going to think that about this game. Because it does use a bunch of different assets, but the whole point is not like churn out a game for the sake of making money. With lending a library in my software requires no attribution, which is odd, but they won't get it. Hey, Pickle, you had started, it was you, right, who was playing Slice and Dice? Are you still playing that? Hey, DevZone. Term is reserved for another engine. The asset flip? Like Unity? Is that what we're talking about? All right, to sum, okay, I gotcha. To sum up the functionality, when the player, as player, not sidekick. Well, actually, sidekick could be. So when the player gets close enough to a chest, should you have to press a button to open it? I guess if you did have to press a button, it would be when you're close enough to it. I guess it doesn't really matter, does it? But we need to outline it or something. Yeah. Okay, so when a player gets close enough to a chest, it should open and give the player an item. For now, we don't have any items, so stub this out. So make a stub / placeholder event that we can eventually plug into. Not playing anymore, mainly because I don't have the finance to purchase it and feel like I've done the tutorial over 50 times. Okay, yeah, I see. So I don't know if we've talked about this, but are you using Google Rewards by any chance? Because I don't know if it's available everywhere, but I signed up for this, and now every time I do certain Google searches, it'll ask me like, hey, we've got a survey that you can fill out. And they're like, you just did a Google search for, asset packs for video games. Like, was this the right amount of ads on the page? Was the layout clear? And you fill out these questions, it gives you like 30 cents or something. Well, you do enough of these and you eventually end up with like, I've got like $16 of credit. So I didn't actually pay for the game. I just did all these little stupid rewards things and I got it for free. So like maybe you could, okay, yeah, all right, never mind. Well, if you really want to play the game, you could always go that route. But yeah, it sounds like you had fun at least. It makes sense if you're okay selling your soul. No, just my data. Just my essence. Some of the functionality, when the player is close enough to a chest, it should open and give the player an item. But now we don't have any items to make a stub or placeholder. Code and functionality is probably going to be pretty similar to treasure chest. Look at that. And Place a single chest in the first room just for testing. I'll remove or relocate it myself later. Is there anything else we know? Oh, yeah. The chest should render using only the first frame of animation from the attached. What is this? Why is this only showing one little... Oh, I see. I was gonna say it's a long picture, but it cuts it off at like the first square. Kind of interesting. Yeah, I tried Kagi. I didn't really see much of a difference, I guess. And now I don't really even use Google. I just use AI a lot of times for search. I feel like even Google has gotten pretty bad for finding the things I want. Chest should render using only the first frame of animation from the attached sprite sheet. Upon opening, it should play the whole animation though. Using each sprite. So how different do we want opening chests to be in the games? Like the concept of opening a treasure chest and getting an item, okay, that's pretty similar in almost every game you play. But there are little things that could differ, like in Zelda, he holds it above his head. In other games, you just kind of get the item. In other games, there isn't even... I was gonna say there isn't even an animation. I guess there's usually like an opening animation. But yeah, I think popping an item out of here and telling you what you got. How does... I think Super Metroid... I mean, there aren't treasure chests, but the item obtained... There's some like banner that goes across the middle of the screen, right? Yeah, this. It's not really a banner, I guess. Yeah, I kind of like that idea. In fact, that's probably the route we should go here. Like the item opens up, it kind of freezes the screen for a little bit, and it tells you what this thing does. I like that. No item. Keep the broken features. Pops out of the chest and you need to catch it. I wonder we could do that. Although eventually you need to obtain the item, and when you obtain the item, we probably do this thing still too. Okay, so let's write this down. Should play the whole animation, and then which frame of the animation looks like an item should pop out of it? Probably maybe this one. So on the first, second, third, fourth, fifth. On the fifth frame, counting from 1. Oh, wait, we got to look up what items we have. Yeah, what are we doing here? Where are the power-ups? Boots. You can jump. You can't even jump before then? Seriously? That was my idea? How many boots do we have? We have a bunch. Okay. So boots, fine. And then more boots you can slide on the wall, sure. Arrow or a quiver, do we have that? We have arrows, yep. Okay. Do we have a quiver? Quiver would be perfect. No. Do they consider it armor? I doubt it. No. And what else do we have? Crafting items? I don't think it's there. No. Okay, well, that's fine. Yeah, so arrows, I guess. Then teleportability, what would that look like? I don't know. I do not know. Someone was saying earlier these might have been rings or bracelets. Maybe we say it's like a teleport bracelet. Until I have a better idea, that's probably what we're going with. Any of these look like they'd make you teleport? Maybe a staff? I don't even know what looks like a staff here. Like these? They're not really staff-like, are they? Also, you're not carrying the staff. It's probably just the bracelet would be good. Or maybe like a feather. I don't know. Yeah, probably the bracelet. Then attack upgrade. We could give you a bow for that. Regeneration and armor. Yep. Okay, cool. Yeah, we have enough of this. If you had the ability to have multiple phone numbers for cheap, $7 per month. Non-expiring voice and SMS credit. Inbound call would either be rerouted to your real phone number or ring in-app, and outbound calls would be outbound. Would that be something of interest? I'm brainstorming here. No, but I might not be understanding what the point is, I guess. Like, I already have a Google Voice number, which was free, and that routes to my phone. And I have my like paid plan. I guess the point is the cost. Because the multiple phone numbers bit, at least for me, I don't really need. Like, I already have multiple phone numbers, I guess, and it doesn't really help all that much. Hey, Jerry. You don't do anything? You don't tell them that, though? I think for some games we could do that. For this in particular, I don't want to do it. Also, I got to be careful about, like, there are funny mechanics that are not necessarily fun, and when you realize that they're just supposed to be funny, you might get frustrated. I got to think about how that's going to play out. Yeah, I guess if the point is the cost, I think that could be interesting. Because I was going to say the closest thing I can think of, I don't use Google Fi, but Google Fi has like a pay for how much you use kind of plan. And I think even their cheapest ones are, yeah, $20 per month. So paying like $7 would be even cheaper than that. Hey, Ollie. Hello, hello. You can have one for business, one for marketplace, one for dating. Google Voice is not available in my country, so that's not a solution. But do people, I mean, I get the need for a business separation, but like, do people often need different numbers? And at least in the US, generally, there are like the first tier phone companies, and coverage is usually great. And then there's like the second tier ones. And we used to use one of these. Coverage is spotty. So it's like you kind of get what you pay for. We used to have one of those super cheap plans, and there were just some places where we couldn't use our phone. You're not ready to share your real phone number? You'd share that one? Yeah, I mean, I think it's a kind of niche scenario because in most cases, it's like if there was a problem, wouldn't you just block a person? I guess you'd be worried about them like sharing your number with other people, but they might still share with other people. Yeah, anyway, sorry. I'm probably not in the target audience for this sort of thing. The cost is the only thing. And even then I'd be, because of my experience being on one of these second tier phone companies, I'd probably be like, it might not be worth it. Because it's like the one thing you expect your phone plan to let you do is make calls and text people and use data, like the all the connectivity bits of it. And it's like when those things stop working, it's like you don't even have a plan at all. We would spawn an item from the chest, just like just like before. We don't have these items, so use any graphic as a placeholder. And then after the item spawns, I want to show a modal dialog on the screen that tells you what the item is and what it does. The player should have to press, maybe they have to hold the confirm button so they're not just like spamming things to move past it. Player should have to hold. There are two ways you can kind of do this. So yeah, suppose you're spawning a modal dialog on the screen in a game. And it's like, press A to continue. The problem is that people may be spamming buttons leading up to that, so they accidentally press through. Option 1 is just delay when you can press by a bit. Option 2 is require you to hold the button. Option 3 is like require you to select continue which would require pressing left or right and then the A button. And option 4 is, I don't know, like make it an infrequently used button. So of these, I'm leaning toward one of the first two. And I think I'm leaning toward number 1 here. We just delay it for like a second. Another thing you could do is have it play like a little jingle. Yeah, I guess that's another thing. Well, it's delay when you compress, but like option 1B is don't just make the delay artificial. Like tie it to an animation or a jingle. Yeah, let's go with the delay for now. It's easy enough to do. Players have to press the confirm button to advance this dialogue. Show the input glyph below the dialogue to indicate that. Sort of like how price setting dialogue does it. And disallow closing this dialogue for the first 1 second of its existence in case players are spamming buttons when they approach a chest. You should probably gray out the input glyph and its text until it will actually function. Yeah, okay. So I think this is good. Code and functionality is going to be pretty similar to treasure chests, like that and refactor where necessary. Some of the functionality when the player gets close enough to a chest, it should open and give the player an item. For now, we don't have any items, so make a separate placeholder. Place a single chest in the first room just for testing. The chest should render using only the first frame of animation for the attached sprite sheet. Okie dokes. After the item spawns, I want to show a modal dialogue. Cool, cool, cool. Hey, Mr. D-Boy. Thanks for the raid. How goes life? How goes your chat? We are working on a Metroidvania sub-game and Stuck in a Broken Tutorial. I am just going to write something down really fast here. AI usage, 45% before planning chess. Yeah. Yeah, welcome in everyone. Hi, hi, hi. Hope you're doing well. By the way, if you want to share a Steam link or something, Mr. D-Boy, feel free to. In fact, actually, I could probably find it. I don't know if you have one for the new game, but you have one for the old game, and you have a developer page. And we can look at upcoming releases. No, okay. Or it's only in French, and I can't see it. Main game 2 is slow, man. Are you feeling it? Are you still liking game dev? What's your mentality like? Because I find this perhaps the most interesting when talking to other game devs. Because I have been all over the place. You are feeling it. Okay, good. Yeah, that's nice. For those new to my stream, I'll show you what I'm working on. It's a game called Stuck in a Broken Tutorial. And it's exactly what it sounds like. Maybe not exactly what it sounds like. But let's start a new save slot here. And I like to just customize a couple colors to show this is working. Yeah, sure. Green skin. Let's do it. All right. So anyway, you start out. You're in this platformer. You got some really basic mechanics here. You can jump. You can dash. The game teaches you this stuff. We got slightly better background than I had last time I showed this. And first taste of brokenness is this jump. Try to collect the diamonds in one go. You cannot. You fall through the world. You now see the source code for the game. It glitches out the Twitch encoder, so you can't actually see anything. But yeah, this is your intro to the game. This is your first broken tutorial. And I will show just the intro to the second broken tutorial. But we're working on the, I think like the 6th game within Stuck in a Broken Tutorial. And it's a Metroidvania that is going to turn into a space shooter. So it is like a very bizarre, out there kind of game. And we got some cool ideas going on. But yeah, we're working on getting the Steam page up for this. It should be up this week, which would be nice. Anyway, yeah, so you end up in a farming game. Did I do this art? No, I did not. No. A lot of this is from asset packs on itch, and then Quickie Joe is also working on the art. Are you doing October next? No, I think this game's going to take like a year and a half. and I want to do the latest next fest that I can do, at the one farthest in the future. Because in Skeletron Cellar, I did not do that. I didn't launch for like 9 months after the next fest, and I think the next fest stats kind of suffered as a result of that. So this is the new game we're working on. The backgrounds are really messed up right now, but this has some story implications. So you're actually playing as a slightly different person than you were before. And I'm actually not pressing anything right now. It's just moving for me or jumping occasionally. Is it going to prove this? Yeah, there we go. So just jump. Yeah, so this is a game where you are slowly losing control. And the way we kind of show this is, one, you just literally don't have control some of the time, so it'll jump or it'll move for you. And two, occasionally as you're going through here, you just find yourself in like a new area. And now we've lost even more control. Now I think 1/3 of the time we're unable to control this character. So I just hold my controller up in the air, like it will just move, jump, like it might fight me as I'm trying to move. So yeah, you work your way over to the left now. And now you completely lose control of your character. So now I don't need to touch the controller at all. And that's it. That's your intro to this particular game, is like, this character is not reacting to my controls. It's like a Pokemon you don't have the right gym badge for. And then eventually just blurs. You've like lost your identity. It fades out. You would go to a different game at this point. But when you come back to this game, you will be your own player here. And now you have full control because you're a different person. And you get some cool abilities. You could like wall jump. You can... actually, I guess there isn't really a lot of cool stuff. You can shoot arrows. And we'll eventually add some enemies in. So we're adding treasure chests right now. And that way you can get the abilities that I have to code. So let's see. Should the chest be usable in both backtracking platformer roles? Only player-controlled version shows and opens the chest. Yeah, let's do this. What should the 5th frame placeholder item do while the modal is open? Rise and hold. Item pops upward from the chest, remains visible behind the modal, disappears when confirm closes it. Yeah, sure. Okay. So treasure chest. While the treasure chest stuff is working, we got to go fix up the backgrounds and tile sets. This is not going to be fun. Wonder players will get that as part of the game. So that, like I said, is going to be like game number 6. By that point, you'll have gone through a lot of like random broken stuff. So I think they will almost be expecting it. But yeah, if that were game number 1 or game number 2, they'd be like, what's going on here? So, and by the way, to make this a little bit clearer, game number 6 is going to be at roughly the like 80 or 90 minute mark. So yeah, you have like an hour and a half of, oh, I'm used to this now. Like things aren't what they appear. And that's part of what made this a little bit difficult too. Like I wanted to communicate that time had passed in that game. And some of the ways I thought of doing it, like let's say you had a clock and it was just like spinning the hour hand really fast. You'd be like, oh, it's just a glitch. Like, yeah, I'm used to glitches in this game. It's not actually communicating the time is moving forward. So yeah, some difficulty there. Yeah, more logic. Thank you. Yeah, I'm really excited about this. I just think it's so cool. And it's been fun watching playtesters play. And they've all had a pretty good time. And yeah, there's a storyline behind this too that we're fleshing out as we go. All right, so backtracking platformer, room 1. So do we have different tile sets for all of these? We do. What are the other ones called? Room 2. Yeah, desert tile set. I wonder if it should just all be the same tile set. I feel like that would make things a lot easier. Yeah, I think it would make things a lot easier. Oh, nice. And more logic, yeah. Hey, Corpsey. Type faster. Code faster. I actually don't do very much coding directly anymore. I feel like AI has completely negated it for me. And I don't really miss it or anything. Yeah, I think we should merge all of these. Then we have room 3, and we're going to need even more than this. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's read this plan, and then let's go have AI merge these. Have AI merge the tile sets. That'll be much easier. All right, so add 1 player role only. Treasure chest in the first room. Opens automatically on proximity. Plays a supplied 7 frame animation at 10 FPS. Spawns a placeholder arrow. A placeholder arrow. That's funny. On frame 5 and displays a confirm only item modal. Existing Dungeon Racer chest remains unchanged because its reward selection and progression logic is domain specific. That's totally fine. Okay, frame 1 is the stopped closed state. Yep. Roughly 32 by 24 proximity area. That's fine. Small solid collision. Well, actually, that's not really fine because I think the tiles are 16 by 16. So that means you could access it from beneath it. No, it actually wouldn't if it's in the center of the chest. All right, that's okay. Small solid collision matches the visible chest. Oh yeah, I forgot about that too. Neat. All right, on frame index 4, the fifth displayed frame, show the first frame of the existing backtracking arrow as a placeholder item. Tween it upward, hold it until the mode closes. Yeah, we should probably show some like glow effect around it or something. No more programming for you. We're taking the keyboard. You won't be typing any faster. All right, we use this UI confirm sounds, add backtracking treasure chest with try open, started opening, parameterless item granted. Place the chest approximately this doesn't matter. Add a neutral pixel art modal on a layer below the shared pause menu. We don't have UI for this game. So yeah, for now, I guess it's okay. Going to Gamescom. Nice. Gamescom. On Saturday with my game, managed to get help with making it fully Steam Deck compatible. Much easier to carry a deck than a computer. Yeah, awesome. I hope it's fun for you. Yeah, and I hope it goes well. It's very cool. Do you want to share a link to your game, Ollie? Show placeholder arrow, localized name placeholder arrow, and description. It doesn't do anything yet. That's fine. Show this beneath the panel, disable and grade the entire prompt, consume confirm presses during the lockout. After the lockout. Actually, I guess either button could dismiss this thing, right? Yeah, it doesn't really matter either. Confirm closes it, hides a held world item, and re-enables player input. Refresh localization catalogs with literal identifier. Yep. Okay, cool. So at some point we got to save this stuff. I think I wrote about checkpoints here. Make sure to tell AI what we want saved. Yeah. All right, implement the plan. So now we're going to start a new one and we are going to tell it to, I want to consolidate all of the tile set images in the backtracking platformer into a single .tres file. Right now, room 1 why is it not called backtracking room 1? It is. What? Why can't I find it? Backtracking room 1.tscn. Yeah, there it is. Backroom 3 all use different .tres files. I do not want to change any of the visuals. This is purely for organizing tile sets to make them easier to use. Make sure the names reflect the original folder and make sure they're translated to English. E.g., I don't know how to pronounce this. Oh, I think I know how to pronounce this. But there are some Portuguese words here. And the Portuguese word for dungeon starts with an M. Where is it? Here. Yeah. Should be dungeon. Okay, we'll give this one to Luna because I don't think it's going to be that hard to do. Okay. Actually being made redundant. I blame AI automation, even though they say it's not the cause of it. Man, I'm sorry to hear that, Corpsey. Yeah. Yeah. I still don't know what the future holds. It is what it is. Yeah, but still, I mean, it's a blow. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know what the future holds, but I think this is probably what companies want to get to or want to trend toward. It's like Uber is probably salivating at the idea of getting rid of their entire like gig economy and just having robots do everything. And yeah, eventually probably Tesla is salivating at the thought of Uber not existing because your Tesla is its own Uber. Oh, the Portuguese things. Yeah, the person who made this is, I think, Brazilian, and some of these tile sets have Brazilian words here, or not Brazilian, sorry, Portuguese words here. Like, yeah, this. But then other ones are in English, like graveyard. Maybe it's the same word in Portuguese. I doubt it, but I'm used to the pain. Yeah, well, Wendy hasn't been streaming anymore, right? Or have I missed it? Has he been streaming? Yeah, I think things have they've just been changing everywhere on Twitch, AI, computers. You missed one? When did he stream? Twitch.tv / Windy Beard Games. 2 days ago. Oh man. Wait, he streamed for 6 minutes? I'm a little bit confused here. Oh no, he's also got this for 51 hours. Something must have messed up here. There's no way he streamed for 51 hours, right? Unless he just left it running. Or maybe it's no, I don't know. Yeah, Twitch is just messing up. All right, add treasure chest. So I think this is good. So then we need to actually add in the items themselves. So I think that's the next step. So high level orchestration. Add the proper power-ups from the chest. Boots and arrows are easy. Boots 1 and boots 2. And arrows are easy. Then the bracelet is harder. Bracelet should be fun to do. Make sure it can't teleport you into a wall. And then a bow for an attack upgrade. Your arrows gain homing and or you shoot multiple at once. Or air shooting. What are the bow graphics we have? Where are they? Here they are. Yeah, they're all sort of plain looking. I don't even know what that is. I think it's a bow, but what are they trying to communicate with that? Yeah, I think it's just a different kind of bow. Yeah, so maybe we use one of these. You're always holding the bow, which is why we can't give you a bow. We can only give you arrows, and you're not able to shoot until you unlock arrows. And then we could give you maybe different arrows or something. Or a different bow and have you shoot multiple arrows at a time. I think the ability to shoot a second arrow that arches upward would probably be worthwhile. Because otherwise, some of these enemies are going to be hard to defeat. Yeah. Make sure you can't teleport into a wall, though. It should either fully move you beyond it or stop you just before it. Yeah, so anyway, add power-ups to the chest. And then flesh out the dungeon. And so the world and enemies. World, enemies, and traps. Okay, let's do that stuff. It's a good starting point. Yeah, I'm gonna burn through probably all of this today. And actually, I was debating at lunchtime of signing up for like Open Code Go and just seeing how good is it. Does it help? And then while this is working, this I'll do by hand. Do this by hand. Make the tile sets easier to use. Reference. Where's the... it's so hard to find this stuff. There's the all-in-one. Here it is. And then that links to here. Here's the page I wanted. Reference these. Yeah, because I want to make some of these worlds and I just want to use this as a reference for like how is this supposed to be structured. So I think this looks pretty cool. Oh, and there's a parallax background, so those will look really good. Do we have those for everything or just for like the dungeon? Does it have no props and objects and just tiles? But something like the desert should have it, right? Yeah, parallax background, mountain and sky. Interesting. Yeah, very interesting. Yeah, super cool. All right, so add parallax backgrounds. Where all do we have parallax backgrounds? Let's copy this CD into that directory. Then FD parallax. 4 of them. So which ones don't have it? The dungeon we know. And what's the other one that we're missing? Desert, graveyard. This one doesn't have it? Oh, they spell it with one L? Okay, so they just made a typo. So, okay, only the dungeon doesn't have it. All but the dungeon have parallax. Okay, yeah. Oh, and then the mini map. I forgot about this. So we probably need this to reflect the world without being too literal. There are a couple different ways we can do this. The way Super Metroid did this was you could actually tell the size of a room from a node on the map. So let's load this up. This is some other thing rewired. Doesn't matter though. So like this, for example, this room is probably roughly this size and shape, at least compared to these other rooms. This is one way you could do this. I think some games also do this. Like maybe, is Rogue Legacy even one of these? No. Rogue Legacy had the same idea. But some just use a single square for any node on the map. Yeah, Rogue Legacy was not one of those games. They also had the same like shapes. Where's the picture? Here. Yeah. I mean, this would be ideal. I guess it's not even that hard to do if we know the layout of the dungeon. Yeah. When it comes to generating this, we could base it on the size of each room. I'm not sure that that's a great idea because it may lead to irregular shapes. Like, here's what I don't want to have happen. I don't want to have a room like this, and we're like, oh, you know what? Let's go put one more column of tiles over here. And then all of a sudden now the mini map is like one cell bigger than it should be, and nothing aligns. Yeah, I will have to think about that. All right, consolidated all 6 Atlas sources into backtracking tiles named in English. Dungeon, desert, jungle. Updated those, blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. Yeah, so let's commit this. Merge tile sets. Commit. Git cherry pick dash n. All right, so this is pretty much just an organizational change. So everything, yep, this is exactly what I expected. The thing I don't like is that this is called back tile, ground tile, back tiles, ground tiles. Wasn't the name supposed to be jungle and whatever. I don't actually see those here. Where did it name them? Yeah, what? Jungle. Oh, the sources have been named? All right, well, whatever. I could just rename these, I guess. Oh, you can't rename them. Okay. Yeah, they're named based on what the file name is. Well, it's not a big deal, and they're distinct enough that I don't think it's going to matter. Maybe the jungle and the forest are a little bit similar, but we don't even have that in yet. So yeah, let's go try this out in the game. What are you using help code? Is it Claude stuff? It's Codex. OpenAI. I was on Claude originally. I switched for reasons that don't really matter too much. And I felt like Codex is pretty generous with usage. And now people are complaining online about usage. And I don't know. I haven't had much of a problem yet. But I'm also thinking of signing up for another AI service and just seeing how that goes. What if I should make a cheat that stops this thing from overriding me so that I can test this faster? God, I really like that effect. Yeah. All right. This looks great. Cool. So this is consolidate tile sets. We had 3 separate .tres files for tile sets in the backtracking platformer. I think it's easier to just manage one. All right, this is awaiting input, probably to validate something. Yep, that's fine. I don't ever mind this. Oh, neat. They played the sound effect. Someone pressed a button at work the other day and cost the company a couple grand. They're trying to get their money back, as they say it was a mistake. Yeah, wow. I mean, in this case, so this is something that's always kind of happened with AWS or GCP that I've heard of. You know, someone spun up a service, or there was some like spurious traffic that hit their site and it cost them like $100,000 or some like ludicrous amount. And usually the cloud platforms are okay to waive that. They probably realize they're not going to get that money anyway. But with an AI company, I wonder if they'll be like, well, look, you submitted the query. We're not going to do anything about this. It was like AI credits. Yeah. Yeah, I'd be curious to know how that story ends when they have the conclusion from it. Yeah. All right, so this should be done pretty soon. What are we at now? 38%. Yeah. I mean, this doesn't bode well if this is the only model I was going to use and do this like every day. I definitely need to change plans at some point. I'm surprised it's testing all of this stuff, because all it really needs to do is see that the treasure chest can open. It's not even as this character too. That happened to you before? What happened as a result of it, Hotel Soap? Maybe it's just running a smoke test. Oh, might be. All right, so we can start doing this. This part's done. Yeah. I'm torn because I don't know how far to go with this. I guess the first thing is, yeah, make the tile sets easier to use. And then flesh out some rooms. Reference these. Ask me to submit a demo project in AWS. Oh, the AWS part, not the AI part. Yeah. Man, that's actually really scummy for the company. Wow. I'm surprised. Not at AWS. I mean, it's good that they waive the cost, but wow. Like, that's got to be some kind of fraud. They'd probably argue, oh, we didn't know it was yours, or you should have protected your credentials or something. But yeah, if you brought this to their attention and they didn't do something about it, then again, I guess they'd say, go talk to AWS. We already did this. Hey, Crucials, charging insane amounts for data packages. A sudden surge of usage for files I was hosting there. Yeah, that was always spooky to me. Same thing with Firebase. you could host some site on Firebase and then just you're at the behest of whoever's targeting your site. If 100 people out there go and use your site, okay, cool, you'll notice some usage. But like if 1,000,000 people go target it, you would have to pay at some point, and it would not be a trivial amount of money. And you obviously don't control that could happen. So someone else could just use a botnet at like known Firebase sites and be like, oh, now they got to go contact Google. So imagine if Google was doing this and just saying like, well, yeah, it's real traffic, but it's really them. I don't think they would do that, but you never know. And the incentive is there. All right, let's check this out. All right, let's go try it. We should have a treasure chest, but only once we're player, I believe. I wonder why I modified Project Akado. Yeah, so I don't see anything here. That's fine. Let's go in as player now. Yep, so there's a treasure chest. I touch it. We got some text showing up. That's pretty good. I think it's a little too fast. I think we need to slow it down. What did change over here? Ah, yeah, this. Okay. So I didn't actually produce the localizations. I can go do that, though. Localization. I mean, we're going to delete this eventually anyway. Don't even know if it was oh, I see. I see. Like there was no job at all. Man, it's especially diabolical. All right, so this is the English file. Yeah, this is the English file. So backtracking treasure placeholder name. So like placeholder item and description, we'll say placeholder description. And then this is confirm. Should be some generic. Close maybe? I don't know. Yeah, I have to test it. Okay, dialogue, treasure chest. The treasure chest is stored right now in backtracking platformer. I guess it's okay. Where do we make it? Oh, it's just always made? And we only show it in a particular case? Backtracking platformer, treasure chest. Yeah, there it is. Player room 1. It's inside the room. Okay. I would not do that. We'll have to change this at some point. Okay. Yeah, so timing, I'd like to change. Let's write that down. Change the timing of everything. It seems a bit too fast right now. Yeah, UI layer. Okay, that's fine. Got to make sure the pause menu shows up on top of it. Make sure the pause menu shows on top of the new dialogue. You can't get a treasure chest as sidekick. Yeah, you don't need to worry about that, I guess. What is this? A smoke test. I don't care about this. And then we have localization files and then the new stuff. Here's the new stuff. We check to see the frame change so that we can detect when we're on frame 5, I guess. And we store this up here, I'm guessing, too. Yep, there it is. Okay, try open. Sounds good. Make sure it wasn't already open. Turn off its opening area. This is not necessary. Also, we got to lower the chest and probably change the collision. Lower the, well, actually, not lower the chest. It's not going to exist there anymore, but lower the chest in the world for now. Or put it somewhere else. And what was the other thing I said? Oh, yeah, change the collision so that it's sensible. It's decent right now. It's probably going to be fine. Just remember looking at the coordinates from earlier. Set enabled. Like, this is not necessary. Yeah, this is just not necessary. It's not the end of the world either. Yeah. That's all fine. All right, so now for the dialogue. Dismissal timer, there we go. If it's not visible in the tree, should we always have this in the tree and just change its visibility? Mm. Oh, wait. We don't even... Oh, I see. This is the prompt. Okay, got it. That's fine. And anything else? No, that's pretty much it. Okay, let's try this again. And let's focus on the timing of everything. And maybe the sounds as well. I don't have music for this game yet. So we're going to go to backtracking player, do this. So now we should have sounds. What's going on? Hang on a second. Hey, Goose. Happy Wednesday. There are two problems. I should just focus on one at a time. One problem is that we are not getting the translations in here. How is that broken? Backtracking treasure placeholder arrow name. And inside the treasure chest, we use this, right? Yeah. Why is that not working? Huh. Let me put a breakpoint there. I actually don't know. Yeah, I don't know why this wouldn't work. All right, let's take a look. Strange. And I wrote this out exactly. Oh, it's still marked fuzzy. Oh my God, I always forget this. Yeah, there, done. Okay, problem solved there and there and there. Okay, good. So now the dialogue will look better. I forgot something. My bad. Let's close this. Okay, go back to here, open this up. Oh, well, now we lose the effect, but that's fine. Placeholder item, placeholder description. Yeah, this is good. Now we don't have an input glyph here. That's actually kind of a problem. And I can't click it because it's not actually a button. So how do we do this? Input main action. All right, so where's the description? It just says close, right? Got it. And do we capitalize this? I actually don't know when we set price. Yeah, we capitalize it. Okay. All right, so now the dialogue should look pretty good. It'll say whatever button we have bound to confirm. Yeah, nice. And if I move the mouse, it's going to change to space. And if I press the controller, it'll change back to B. Yeah, so if I press B, it does close. Okay, good. All right, so that's done. So we now have proper text. I never wrote that on my list. Next up is the timing. I think it all happens still so fast. Yeah, we pop up the dialogue like immediately. You know what would be kind of interesting is if you open the chest and the item just floats there and then you have to touch it. So like you have to jump onto it to get it. Is that cool? Does that only sound cool to me? What if opening the chest spawned an item out of it? So like you get near a chest to open it. An item spawns out of it, but just hovers in the air. And then you need to touch the item. And then the dialogue shows. Functionally, it doesn't really matter. If you could get to the treasure chest, you can jump onto the treasure chest and get to the item that was in it. We could also have the treasure chest open farther away from you because you're not going to get the item until you touch the item. But I don't see a reason to do that. But then what happens if you touch the treasure chest from the top and it opens and then you get the item immediately? Maybe we have to maybe make you touch it from the side. Yeah, I kind of want to try this idea. But I think this is sort of stupid. And we don't have to do this right now anyway. We don't even have a graphic in here, do we? No, because it's all turned off. Well, this should be turned on and this should be turned off. There we go. That's much better. Yeah, so we could do that. We can make it so you have to touch it from the side. An item spawns out of it. It just floats there in the air. You touch it and it says like you got the item. I don't know why, but I like this idea. So I think we're going to do this. Collision box is enabled once you are not in it. So if you're on top, you can just jump. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. Wait, no, maybe, well. Because you'd be on top, you'd be like colliding with the item, which I think would be a little bit strange. Okay, so change the chest so that it emits the item and it hovers in the air. The player has to collide with it to collect it, which is what will spawn the dialogue. And I guess fade out the item. And then change the chest collision so that it's only on the sides. That way you can't open it and immediately collect the item. All right, so that's done. This would make it not seem so fast. And then the only other thing we have is the pause thing. Let's go try that out. Got to make sure that the pause screen shows on top of this. It does. And settings shows on top of it. Yeah. It's pretty hard to read because of our lack of proper backgrounds, but that'll not be a problem eventually. And the cheat menu does too. Yeah, great. Okay, cool. So that's done. How has it been working with AI? Are you running into any issues? It's been very, very smooth. So there are some issues. AI is very bad at UI. And yeah, it's generally, I'd say like it's generally bad at coming up with like decent visuals for anything. I'll just say decent visuals. It's not for anything, but yeah, it's generally pretty bad at UI. If I'm like, hey, go make this layout or center this thing, it just doesn't really know how to do that. So that's where having made a game already just totally manually comes into play, because it's like, oh, I could tell it do everything leading up to that, and then I'll make the UI. But it's very good working with Godot because of Godot's scene files. So you might have seen me do this just earlier, but we have these rooms and I had 3 different tile sets. In fact, you can see it here. I have one with just these 2, and then I have the desert one, and this has the desert ones here, right? And I was like, just go merge them all, make them one tile set. And it did that, and it worked totally fine. And I didn't need to make any changes afterward. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff where it just drastically simplifies things. Or I'll be like, hey, for Skeleseller, I got the icon for the game working correctly. Just go follow what I did for that, and here's the image that I want for this one, and it filled it in all correctly too. Hey again, Sean. All right, so I want to kick this off. I'm going to snooze the ad that was trying to run. Oh, and we also have an issue here. This is in treasure chest, which is this. So there, now it's no longer a problem. So let's go check this in. Add treasure chests to backtracking platformer. There's just one test chest with a placeholder item in it that does nothing for now. Yeah, I want to kick off a new thing here. Okay, so I want to change the flow of getting the item. When you touch a treasure chest, the item should float out of it like it currently does. But then the item itself should have a collision area. The player should have to enter this collision area. before the item acquisition dialog appears. When the dialog appears, we should fade out the item that was above the chest since you just obtained it. And then we should play some kind of sound when that happens. What do we play? I'll just search for item. We have some of these. I don't know if any of them are good. I'm not super sure about any of those. We can play that. ABC. Hey, so stuff. Love having a new favorite emote. Yeah. Let's all Adam wave at each other. You know what? I think we're going to play this. I don't know. The tough thing is we probably need to like fade out the music when you get this. And you're going to get 2 items very quickly. Right? We don't even give you the ability to jump. And then once you can jump, it's not really all that interesting, right? I don't know. Let's just go with a simple sound effect for now. Yeah, this one. Sure, whatever. When this happens, fade out the item above the chest and you just obtained it and play the attached sound effect. If we already have that, no, I should just not even say that. I'll just go do it myself. It's use item 1. We'll just go search for that. No, it does not exist. Okay. All right, when you touch the treasure chest, items should float out of it like it currently does, but then the item itself should have a small collision area rather than automatically being collected and spawning a dialogue. All right. Let's do that, and then I'll take my break. What do we have for AI usage here? 37%. All right, I'll be right back. Is it jump time? It's jump time. Tim, thank you for the raid. I'm sorry, I just kicked off a break. I hope your stream was good. Hey, Tiny Victories. For those who are just seeing this, by the way, you can type join in Twitch chat and you can play. The goal is to jump up as high as you can. But yeah, Tim, I hope everything's going well. GG's. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'll be back in a little bit. I really should step away from my computer because otherwise I don't actually end up taking breaks. I would just stream for like 3 hours at a stretch. So if I don't see you again, yeah, have a good rest of your day. Thanks again. I do appreciate it. But I'll be back in a little bit. Bye, everybody. Hello, hello. Close the game. Seem to have a BRB streamer radar for raiding into. Yeah, Tim, I don't know if you're still here. I don't know if you even heard me earlier when I was saying all this stuff because I was running an ad break at the same time, but thank you very much. I'm sorry about the bad timing. Close the game. What height did you reach? Oh, yeah, wow, you were very close. Wow. ATP on YouTube. I do not have that game connected to YouTube chat, unfortunately. So yeah, it's only through Twitch chat. Okay, did this run? It did run. It is not finished yet. Basically perfect at rating into it. Yeah. I'm sorry about that, Tim. Did you have a good stream? Is everything going well? And do you have anything you want to share? Feel free. Pretty much blanket permission. Here, by the way, I did not do my usual intro here, but we have been working on, I might not be able to demo this right now, but I've been working on a game called Stuck in a Broken Tutorial, and we were working on the newest sub game within it. So Stuck in a Broken Tutorial itself is a combination of a bunch of different games, and we've got, I mean, I've got them listed out here by sort of their code names, so it's just like a farming game. But yeah, you're in this farming world. You eventually, let's go to play normally here. You eventually get to, oops, free play, not play normally. Yeah, you eventually get to do things like, you know, use your shovel, typical farming stuff, plant seeds, water them. The game that we're doing now is this one. You start as this different character from who you normally play as, and you're kind of just losing your mind in this game. So you find yourself just like transitioning between these worlds without any reason, and you're losing control of your character. So like I'm trying to just move left and jump, and it's fighting me and trying to move right. And then you fully lose control of your character, and now I just don't control this at all. And eventually, if I speed this up, they'll run around for a bit. It'll get blurrier and blurrier, and you just exit the game. So when you come back to that game, you are going to be yourself. We don't have the graphics for that yet. You're going to eventually have all these power-ups, but you start by collecting them from treasure chests. So that's what we're doing now. There's an arrow. We have to go touch the arrow. And yeah, we get placeholder item. And when we do this, we should probably freeze the player's frame. I gotta write that down too. But yeah, it's looking pretty good. It was an okay stream. Productivity and focus is a fair bit off. Bought some analog game design tools. What are those? Are they like the oblique questions as a set of index cards? Progressed significantly since I last saw. Yeah, there's been a lot of work done. So actually a lot of like little features too. Let me turn on the sound here. So one of the things that I'm super happy is done already is we now have controller rebinding with proper input glyphs. So I'm using a Nintendo Switch Pro controller, and my button layout is different from an Xbox controller as a result of this. So you see B, A, Y, and X. If I go here and change it to Xbox, now it should be A, B, X, Y. But I didn't change anything. All I did is change the glyphs. I didn't change bindings, I mean. So that's done. I'm happy about that. We have save slots, and we animate them based on your last character that you played as, and you can delete them and start a new game. I don't know if you saw this customization screen, but this has been in there for a little while now. Whoops, I want to change this. I do not like this like blue skin color in the game here. It makes you look like a gargoyle. Yeah, red's better. Makes you look like a demon. Is that how you joke, but that actually could be a thing that happens in this game. We could talk about placeholder items. I mean, I have this in here still. Note to self: add more diamonds here. Tim, I don't know if you saw this, but I changed this whole sequence, and we also improved the background and everything too. So now instead of just falling through the world, you fall through the source code of the world. Dry erase cards, wet erase markers, D&D map dice. Oh, I see, yeah. Yeah, I forgot who did this. I think it was Jitspo, maybe? Who would like roll dice to figure out what he was going to work on that day. Anyway, yeah, lots of things have been improving in this game. Yeah, I think it's super cool. I love this. This is one of my favorite things. When you fight the boss in this game, I'm super powerful, so we're gonna kill him in like 2 seconds. But he spews out tons and tons of power-ups. You go collect them all, and you get 5-way shot, and then you can blow up the wall over here. and then simply just walk over the untextured area and leave. So yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff that's happening here. I'm really happy with how this is shaping up. And the next step is to get this world fleshed out. Dark has started working on it. It's starting to look a lot better. I'll show you what we have so far. It's supposed to look like Skeleseller. Yeah, so here's our work in progress map that we have so far. But yeah, it looks a lot more like Skeleseller than what we have right now. I mean, these are the things too. I'm having a lot of fun working on this. You know, one of the things, and I think you can appreciate this as a game developer yourself, but one of the things that I always think is really tough is like, how do you make use of asset packs, even if they're great? Like, let's say you get this, and this is a great example because like this is an awesome pack. The art is great, it's cohesive, there's a lot of different stuff in it. But my simple example here is like, let's say you want flying units. There are no flying units. And if you're not an artist yourself, it's like, well, too bad now. You can't go add them. You need to hire an artist anyway, or you need to commission this person. So it's like asset packs are great, but they don't make full games usually. Usually you have to augment them quite a lot. So what's nice about the game that I'm making here is I can just tailor a game to the asset pack. So like we probably will use this eventually. I purchased it already and I haven't come up with an idea for it yet. But yeah, I purchased it. We'll figure something out. How good the in-game dev tools. Oh, the cheating and everything? Hey, Luxeria. Because yeah, the cheats are really, really important for getting somewhere quickly, especially in this game. But a lot of the devs have like a console or something. This is just some controller-friendly way because I'm usually playing with controller. And then yeah, once we're inside a game, the ability to cheat our way through the rest of this is also pretty nice. But yeah. Anyway, let's go back and take a look at what happened over here. I'm surprised this is not done yet, by the way. Yeah, and I wonder, is it just like, it should not be burning through a lot of usage. Yeah, it's still at 37%. And it's just been working that entire time. She's level select. Yeah. Yeah, it is nice to have that. The other dev tool that I don't use often because I'm not really making art myself is the colorization tool. This one. This was actually a really helpful tool for testing out artwork in the game. So we have like a super zoomable view and you can change the colors of anything as you wish and just see like, does it look good? You know, is this the color you want for this? And you could freeze frame the animation. The UI looks like garbage, right? Like I'm not trying to claim this is the best possible thing in the world. But yeah, you can randomize the colors. And that way you can see at a glance, like, did we make the masks correctly? Like here you can actually see the eyes are changing a little bit. I did not notice that before. Yeah, here, I think that's a mistake. Huh. Run, hold item down. Yeah, color's just this frame of the eye is slightly bluer. Interesting. I didn't expect to find that here. I wonder if that's a problem in anything else. Run, hold item down. I wonder if that's also a problem in holding right. Nope, eyes look fine there. And holding up, you can't see the eyes. So yeah, we got to write this down. And I can fix this myself. That shouldn't be a problem. Small bug, run, hold item down in the farming game has one frame of incorrect eye coloring. Which frame is it? Frame 3 out of 8. Frame 3 of 8, counting from 1. All right, let's go take a look at it. We should be able to fix this pretty fast. Sprites, characters, farming. So it's run, hold, item. Oh, it's this. Okay, it's frame 3. I don't see a problem there, so it must be in the mask. And sure enough, there it is. Yeah, there's red here. Those pixels should not be red. They should be... Oh, they should be transparent. They shouldn't even exist. Yeah, I don't know how they got messed up. It's very obvious when you see them all next to each other, huh? Well, like I said, dead simple to fix, so I'll fix that in just a sec. I want to be done with this, though, first. Hey, Rukasu. Okay, let's go put this here. Yeah, there are 4 broken pixels. Oh, no worries, Quickie Joe. Yeah, I don't mind. And I hadn't even noticed until now. This is like very subtle. And it's dead simple for me to fix too. So yeah, I don't even need you to resubmit artwork. I can just delete this and delete this. But if I hadn't looked at that one animation, I wouldn't have seen this. Okay. So yeah, got to freeze frame the character when we do this. Let me write that down. I do like the idea of you having to get this item. It'd actually be kind of interesting. I think Phaedric was mentioning this before, but like if we made the item flow upward and downward and you might not actually go grab it. I don't want it to be confusing though. All right, so freeze frame the character while the dialogue is open. We could just pause the animation. Yeah. All right, how is this looking? So you open the treasure chest. The item is just there. Oh, you know what? We could make this so the item floats at the perfect height for you to not be able to avoid it. Like imagine here you can't, well, the treasure chest is floating, but if it wasn't floating, you could just jump over the item maybe. We could just make it so the item floats so that there is no way for you to pass through it. You have to collect it. And that way there's no confusion here. If you're like, well, I don't want the item, you can't avoid it. I like that idea. Make it so that the item is at a height that you can't possibly avoid by jumping over. At least for the first chest. Oh, wait a second. I'm an idiot. You don't even have the ability to jump at first. Man. I guess we could start you with the ability to jump. It's not really an interesting ability to have to get jump. We could also just do something special for this. All right, I gotta think about that. How do you unlock jumping if you require jumping to unlock an item? Next time you shoot it, break you out of the game. So the end of this one is you launch yourself into space. And then from space, you have a quick time event. So we have very defined exits for these games. And these are pretty cool exits, I think. Make the item follow the player if they don't want to take it. And hey, Campbell Soup, yeah, make it have a magnet power up. Get close, automatically collected. Yeah, I think that's what we probably do. Have the item magnetized to you. Maybe it's just the boots that do this. And then make sure there's no way for it to get stuck or slingshot. That's a word. Slingshot away from you due to gravity. How do you feel about a project manager app like Hack and Plan, ClickUp, Trello? I see you use Google Docs to plan things out. So I think what you're talking about is like a Kanban board, basically. I've only heard of Trello, and I think that's a Kanban board. But are you talking about something like this, where you've got different columns and you can move things in between the columns? Oh, nice. How did it go today, Galaxy Inferno? Anything to help organize? Okay, so my general take on anything here is that process should always be more, well, really anything you do should be more beneficial than I wouldn't say harmful, but like than getting in the way, than detrimental, I guess. So as an example here, if you have 100 people, then communication is very tough. So having tooling, processes, etc., would all be important. If you have 2 people, it's very easy to stay almost in lockstep because you could just have like a Discord conversation and any message you type, you're going to expect the other person to have read. Whereas if it were 100 people, you're not expecting everyone to read everyone else's messages and for all it to all be relevant. So I am doing mostly solo dev right now. I can't say it's entirely solo. Like Kevin and Dark have been helping with the coding or the feature side. Quickie Joe's been helping the artwork. There are other people working on it, but in terms of coding, in terms of like managing features in the project, it's mostly just me. So for that, a document is perfect. It's like the lightest weight thing. You just type text in whatever form you want. I have general organization within this text. I've got some headers. I've got some sections in it. So yeah, I don't really think I can top this. When I was working on Skeleseller and then Kevin and Dark were working like in a larger capacity as developers, we tried GitHub projects for a little bit, and I felt like there was too much overhead even just for 3 people. It was like, okay, well, now I need to like assign tasks to people and make sure they're in the right status and plan out iterations or whatever. It just wasn't worth it. Oh, I see. Leaving 8 minutes. Okay, well, I hope it is a good time. Yeah. So that's my take is if you think it's helping you, awesome. Like continue to do it. And the help doesn't need to be like a straightforward direct product help necessarily. It could be something like motivation. Like, oh, I like using the tool and it makes me do something I wouldn't have done before. That you could technically get through anything, right? It could be that you're spending money on a tool and the money is motivating you to do something because you would otherwise lose it. It could be that the tool is good. It could be that the tool is just like an addictive tool for some reason. I don't know. Um, so yeah, whatever value you get out of it. But yeah, if you find that it's not giving you value, just stop doing it. I think there's no reason to try to stick to someone else's methodology just because it works for them. All right, so this took an awfully long time. I don't necessarily mind the time, and it didn't seem to use, well, it did use 1%, but that's fine. All right, let's go test that out, and let's go make some other changes. I think that items magnetizing to you at least should just happen with the boots. After that, you should probably just collect them. I don't know. I also like consistency, though. Oh, that didn't work. What does it think the collision is for this? That's strange. Did it put the item inside the chest? Item display. Yeah, and it has a collision shape, and the collision shape is huge. Huge. I want to be like that big. At least in this case, maybe even a little bit smaller. All right, let's try it. It's so hard to select this for some reason. I swear it's got to be my controller. There's no way I'm failing to press right and down. All right, nice. So yeah, an arrow just pops up there. We need some kind of glow effect or something, maybe like a rainbow outline. Oh, you can jump over this. Yeah. Okay. All right, that's pretty good. Yeah, so we got to prevent you from doing that. Maybe we make the hitbox really tall. Let me think about this. There's another thing we could potentially do here. We could recess the chest into the floor. So imagine. Okay, so imagine that this chest is like there. No, that wouldn't work. No, you have to put it like there. Yeah. And we carve out the floor a little bit too. So when you walk over to it, the boots just kind of appear where you are. Or, it'd be funny. Okay, this idea actually could work. It's very silly though. We literally just rotate the chest so that it's facing you. And then when you open it, the item will immediately go into where you are. I kind of want to do that. That's very funny to me. Okay. Yeah. I think I'm going to do that. We put a chest on the side of a wall. Yeah, it is a broken tutorial. Yeah, so negative 90 degrees. Yeah. Could just put the chest on a wall at negative 90 degrees. Okay, so this is done. This is not. Wait, that one's not done yet, though. Oh, wait, but then the collision does still need to be on top of the chest, right? Hey, weird dude. When they say on my current project, do you review the code Codex generates or it's mostly correct? I do review it. I review it in a way that doesn't like paralyze me in review processes, though. So the way I kind of say this is I spent 2 years making Skeleseller and I did almost everything manually there. I learned a lot about Godot in the process and I learned what the gotchas are. So now I can sort of spot the code smells for things that are concerning. And then there are other things that aren't how I would code them, but they're really not like the worst thing in the world. So if we go look at the treasure chest that it created, for example. So where is it? Yeah, here, for example. See this opening area, set deferred, turn off the monitoring and monitorable. This is turning off collision. There really isn't a reason to do this. But this is like nitpick level. Yeah, I could stop this. I could spend some more time iterating on this and cleaning this up. These are native calls and set deferred. There's a native call here. So we are marshaling over to C++ for this. We're doing it twice. We're doing it for no reason really. But yeah, it doesn't, it's just not a big deal. This is not really a code smell that I need to do something about. Whereas sometimes it'll do something on like every single frame. It'll call, get every single body that this is colliding with. And I'm like, no. We're going to do that once. We're going to keep track of a Boolean. So, yeah. Fear to lose control of the code base. Yeah, I think this is the difficult transition period between human-owned code and AI-owned code. Like, I do not have the mental map of where everything is, but I still have the same tools to be able to find them that I would always have if I had just joined a large team, let's say. So, yeah, at any big company, when you join, it's like they might have millions of lines of code. You still need to figure out how you're going to make a change, right? And you might search for like a string in the UI to find, oh, that's where the module is that has it. And how does this work now? And you start piecing through it. Hey, Chili, happy 120 stream streak. Nice. It's a third of a year. Okay, so we are going to look at this in a sec, but there was something else I wanted to do, right? I don't remember what it is. Oh, right, the collision. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. All right, so we still have a bit of a problem here. Maybe we specially change the collision. Or maybe we just let you be on top of the treasure chest. Like, so what if you get the item? Yeah, let's see what that would look like. So I'm just going to walk on top of this thing and get the item from it. Yeah, I think that's fine. Yeah, I think it's fine. All you care about is that you got an item, right? You don't really care that it was supposed to spawn in the world first. But maybe I am kind of belaboring this whole decision. Maybe we do just start with the boots. Like, is it interesting in a platforming game to not have boots? Because all you could literally do is walk along the... Well, no, wait, hang on. We could... This could show that there's backtracking. I do kind of like that idea. Yeah, I should write this down. The first room should probably contain the boots or something. And, well, the first item you get would be the boots. You should see platforms to the side, but you can't take them yet. So you have to drop down in the world until you get boots. Then you can platform back up. There should probably be some rooms that have no real purpose. Yeah, it's made people actually think about writing documentation funny. Well, it just made it super easy to do. I think a lot of what AI has done for almost any realm that it's impacted is it's just lowered the barrier for entry. Yeah. Work on big significant projects. Don't read code at all anymore. Just have very complex task orchestration in their LLM harnesses. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, this is all part of the transition of like, how do you live in a world where what you learned is no longer directly applicable? A4T. What AI app are you using to write and edit the code and modify the files for you? I'm using Codex. Yeah. All right, so I was torn on this treasure chest a little bit. Let's go review what this came up with. Let's see what's going on here. This is the item collection sound. I think this is fine. I do kind of want to vary this a little bit. So let's do min pitch 0.8. Max pitch 1.2. That might not sound great. I'm actually not going to really test this right now. Yeah. All right. Good. Good. This is fine. The positioning does not actually matter, so let's just revert that for right now. But I don't want the visible pulse to be there. I want it to be in the other scene. All right, so this is now a node 2D that happens to have an item in it. It is kind of weird that it didn't make a special item node out of that. But it's fine for now. This can be private. This, sure. Okay, yeah, this is fine. This we already looked at. Item is off by default, that's fine. This is the test, yeah. And then sound ID should just be one line, yep. And the item sound, cool, okay. So change how chests work. The chest spawns an item without automatically granting it to you. You have to walk onto it to collect it. It plays a sound when you do this. All right, there you go. Nice, nice, nice. Hey, Shiki. Please do try to be a little bit mindful of segmenting in chat. Hey, world famous. What am I working on? Working on a game called Stuck in a Broken Tutorial. I will show you in just a sec. So the game itself is a collection of other games. And I'm going to make this a very, very quick demo here. But you'll customize your character. We'll just randomize a bunch of things. And then you're in your first tutorial. But like I said, super fast demo. We'll skip to where you've already learned how to jump and double jump and dash. And you get to here. And it is your first show of skill that is impossible. And you experience the broken part of this game. And scroll through the source code until you get to this dark cavern. So yeah, we are working on game number 6 in this whole series of games where you are able to open treasure chests, get items, and then you have to go through this like, kind of backtracking game, like a Super Metroid style thing. So we have the treasure chest. Now we need to freeze the animation. When the player, while the item dialog is open, stop the player's current animation at its current frame. Resume it once. Actually, we should probably stop almost everything in the dungeon, right? Because there will be enemies and stuff too, and if they can attack you while that dialogue is open, that'd be really bad. We should pause the underlying game. The current reason for this is so that the player's animation stops while the dialogue is open. But in the future, we'll have enemies in the area with you, and they shouldn't be able to act while you're frozen, while your inputs are disabled. Okay. No, yeah. With the falling stage change of the terminal glitching in the background. Yeah. There's a lot of these sorts of things in the game. And this is what I think is so cool about this is like we can violate expectations all over the place. So the next game you go to after the platforming game is the farming game. And if I just go into free play mode here, like the first tools you might try using, like the shovel, it works how you'd expect. You're digging up grass here, and you can plant seeds, and you can water them. And then you get to the broken stuff. Actually, the sickle isn't really broken. I guess you can use it on these little grass things, and they'll cut apart. But the axe you might try using on a tree, and you actually just throw it. It says ditching that axe is giving you the ability to run, and sure enough, yeah, you can move at double the speed now. So you might try going collecting your axe. You cannot, but it will cut trees now. It'll just float away from you. And then you find out that your shovel can actually dig up pretty much anything in the game. So these are like little broken things that you discover as you're playing, thinking that you might just be in a regular farming game up until this point. You realize you can like dig up your chimney if you want and plant seeds under here, and your bed talks to you. There's a lot more like little broken stuff in this game, but yeah, that's the gist of it. All these games are going to be little ideas that have some fun or funny twists to them. I know you're using a lot of asset packs. Will that be final art where you update a lot of it? No, I think this is going to be pretty much the final art. We'll probably juice it up a little bit, but yeah, in general. Oh, what happened here? This is not done yet. What failed? DLL cannot be found. That's weird. Yeah, that was weird. Yeah, so like the title screen right now just has some buttons at the bottom. That's going to change. I mean, that's UI, not art, but if we get into the art, like this is going to be the final platforming character. All the characters should look like the same person, and if you have the same palette, it'll look like the same like obvious character. These look a little bit different because we have different palettes. But yeah, most of these games have their final art. Like this is how this is probably going to look. Giving Inscription vibes. I haven't played Inscription. Yeah. But yeah, I like that you're going between different worlds. So I think the different assets really help that. And it shows off a bunch of different art styles too. Yet you're the same character throughout all of it. So I am a fan of what's going on here. Do this even though there's no reason. We're waiting for the completion of the AI anyway. Oops. I don't think I ever cut that while it had fallen. Nice. We're probably gonna work on music tomorrow, by the way. So it'll be a music stream. We'll compose some new stuff. Quickly grab a partial screenshot with a snipping tool and paste it into the chat, and that seems to help them align nicely to what you're asking most of the time. Yeah, I've tried a bunch of different things. I haven't really had a lot of success with it. It's doing some UI, but we're gonna need to take a pass over it at some point. So are the mechanics all based on narratively X mechanic doesn't work, so you can do Y mechanic instead? So they're all a little bit different. Some are just literal jokes. Like there's one game that we're going to make probably in the next couple months, which is a card game that is literally a card game. There's one card and you play that card and you win. So like there's no mechanics to that game. It's literally just like you go through the prompts and it's just supposed to be a joke. Other games are like, hey, take a genre and flip it on its head. That one you just saw me play was kind of like a Zelda game, and then you get into an endless runner style when you blow up a wall and the entire dungeon falls. And yeah, other games will just lie to you about what the mechanics are. So there's all sorts of brokenness. And I just want to make sure it's not all broken in the same way. Like you're not always just walking through a random wall or something like that. Yeah, for web stuff, I would expect it to be better. Yeah. For Godot, it's not the best, I think. All right, so now when we grab the item, it should freeze frame us. Wait, something... I can't tell if that went wrong. I let go of the button and it counted as pressing it? Okay, that's very messed up. Yeah, that's very messed up. If I let go of the button now, no, okay, that didn't do it. But if I press the button, okay, hold on. Yeah, it's frozen right now. I have to let go of the button for it to unfreeze. Yeah, that's what's weird. Customers are all annoying, asking for managers or items you can't make. They're asking for things you can't make. So I don't know if you heard the idea for this particular game, but yeah, this is a Metroidvania. You're gonna get the high jump boots, and they're really high jump boots. You're gonna launch yourself into space, and it's gonna become a space shooter. But you are not inside of a spaceship. You are just your normal like archer shooting arrows at everybody. And then at the end of this, you will get a spaceship, and it's gonna give you a quick time event that you cannot complete. So it's gonna have like a picture of a cat, and then like the B button, and then whatever, like I don't know, just imagine a bunch of different like symbols that you can't actually press and be like, whoa, what am I supposed to do here? Like, how am I supposed to do this? So that's kind of like the customers asking for things that you can't provide them. But in a cooking game, you might expect that you could provide it to them somehow. I like the idea. All right, so yeah, this is messed up right now. So take a look at what's happening. Owns treasure dialogue pause. This is the backtracking platform and was paused before treasure dialogue. The game couldn't have been paused beforehand. Restore input after treasure dialogue. This is terrible. Why did it even add this? Set pause mode to process. And this is always set to process. All right, I do not like this. I guess the dialogue always runs. Yeah, the dialogue always runs. So when we're done with this, we unpause. And what is responsible for figuring that out? Wait, where does it pause exactly? Is inside ready? No, it doesn't pause here. Okay, I see. All right, let's just look at this. So we pause when you collect the item, and we show the dialogue. Dialogue's always going to run. When it dismisses, we call restore this. This sets it to unpaused, and then waits for a frame. Let me think about this. You press the button. It's not until you let go that it actually unpauses, though. Oh, I see. Because of this. Yeah, I don't think this is necessary. It's not like you can jump in the air anyway. And even if you could, it'd be okay. All right, let's try that. Oh yeah. This is a collection of different games within one larger one, and there's a story that connects this throughout as well. I haven't shown any of that story because I was giving you the very brief demo. But when you do fall down through the world and through the source code and everything, you land here. So you eventually work your way over to the side of this, and I'll just whoops, I messed up. I used the wrong cheat. All right. Anyway, you end up in here. You go into this door, and you encounter a character. This is your very first taste of the story, but you won't get back here to figure out more of the story until another like 10 minutes have passed. And this person just says you shouldn't be here, get out, and then banishes you. But yeah, you will meet them more. You will find out more about the story. This is part of what we're developing for this new game, is some more like you're playing as one of the other characters. All right, so let's try this again. We collect the item. We press the button. We can already move. Nice. All right. I think this is fine. I don't understand though why we have this here. This seems completely pointless to me. Did I do the sprites or art myself? Did I hire someone if made with AI? How's the workflow? I do not use AI for anything creative, but I also did not make the art myself. I'm very, very bad at artwork. So a lot of it came from asset packs on itch. So for example, here is the pack we're going to be working with now. And there's a bunch of different sprites for this stuff. I think this looks great. And then Quickie Joe is working on this to fill in any blanks that we need and to make the characters look like the main character. So the artwork that we have, let me show this briefly. So when you go start a new game and you customize your character here, let's say we change the shirt to just some obviously different color. Yeah, sure, this. Okay, so we got like a greenish color here, and yeah, let's change the hair too. All right, so green and purple. This is you in the first game. This art is pretty much like off the shelf. We did do a couple of minor changes. We removed horns from the character's art and a little dagger that she had. But when you go into the next game, like we needed her to have the same hairstyle as in the first game and then the same colors. So Quickie Joe is the one doing that work. So like this artwork originally had her with a different hairstyle, different like clothing, but we need that to be consistent throughout, or else you won't know that you're playing as whoops, that's not what I meant to do. Or else you won't know you're playing as the same person. So like here she is with a gun. You can see her hair flowing in the background there. And then in this game, I was like showing this off, but there's a little standby animation, which I will let play out in a sec. There it is. So yeah, very cool. I like that a lot. Yeah, this is not just as a nice touch, just to be clear. Like it wasn't just like a, oh, this'll be neat. It's, we need to communicate to the player that this is you. Like this is you throughout all of these different games. Otherwise you might be like, wait, why am I playing as like this platforming character? Now I'm in a farming game as somebody else. So yeah, this was necessary to make it cohesive. Yeah, I think asset packs are useful. I think it's generally kind of hard to use them in regular games, but for this, it's pretty good. Hey, sound. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I can't take credit for the artwork. I made the music, and I actually really like the music for this game. This one's kind of a mysterious Zelda-y tune, but then once you go here, much faster paced. Let's crank it up. Okay, so the last thing I wanted to figure out is what if we just cut this out completely? Because I don't know why it added this. I don't think it's necessary. Yeah, we can still collect everything. Oh, you can't pause here. That's probably an issue. Yeah, it's probably an issue. All right, so just get rid of this code. This thing about like, was the game paused beforehand is also kind of silly. So pause the game while collecting an item. This is to stop player animations, but eventually it will also be to stop enemies from doing anything since you won't be able to act during that time. This does stop you completely from being able to pause, which is stupid. Yeah. Okay, so allow the player to still use the pause button and pause menu while the item dialog is open. Feeling crazy motivated. Oh, nice. Yeah, yeah. Thank you. We are still a long ways away. I have a public journal here, which I'll paste in a YouTube chat for you. So I have been working on this particular game since very late March, and I didn't start the coding until April 6th. So we are at like pretty close to the 4.5 month mark, and we have a total of 5 sub games. I want maybe like 10 more. So if you were to just go based on the pace I've been going at now, it'd be like 8 more months. Well, probably more like 9 more months. 9 more months until we have all of the base content in. But like, what if that's not enough? What if some of it isn't fun? What if my pace slows down? And then there's all the finalization work we need to, polish, bug fixes, marketing, all that stuff. So I'm guessing this is no sooner than a year and a half until launch. But I think 2 years to work on this game would be, honestly, be pretty fast. I think it'd be a good amount of time to do this. Okay. I should go clean this up. I actually already did clean it up. I just didn't save it. Let's go save this now. Export. And now we just gotta find it. Sprites, characters, farming, Lyria. I believe it is run hold recolor mask.png. Yes, save. Okay, please tell me that worked. Let's go test this out. Most people stop at the 2 week to 1 month mark. Yeah, yeah. I think there are lots of reasons why people stop at those marks though. It's exciting to work on something new. And then you get in the weeds of things and you're like, oh man, there's a lot of problems. I got to figure things out. And this is kind of why I have my tenant system that I have. And there's really only 2 things. I mean, breaks are on here too, but the 2 things are, can I continue to work on this for a while? And do I have what it takes to get through these annoying tasks? And both of those are what contribute to being able to complete a project. But yeah, when I feel like, oh man, I'm not able to do the amount of work I was able to do before, then I try to pump the brakes a little bit. Anyway, where's the art for this? Here it is. So if I just go frame by frame, perfect. Yeah, nice. Okay, great. That definitely pretty fast. Yeah. Yeah, the prior game I made was not using AI agents, and it took 2 years to make this game. And like I said, I had more coding help from Kevin and Dark for that, but it was still a massive undertaking and a lot of like, lots of game design woes and things to figure out. Hey, 3D Extended. And hey, Articula. Yeah, some tinker on and off for years. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like I'm doing this as my main gig, so that also really helps. All right, where are we at? Did I just open Apple Music? Never intentionally open that. So this, I'll just go check in. Fix a farming recolor mask. The eyes had 4 incorrect pixels. Okay, that's done. All right, I do want to get to the treasure chest stuff. Honestly, this is where I just feel like Luna is not as capable as Soul, for sure. Like, what I sometimes think are mechanical tasks do not end up being mechanical tasks. And I'm like, now I need to correct it. And if I didn't have a quota that's about to run out, then I'd be a little bit more fast and loose with this. Hey, Max, did it make enough money for 2 years worth of pay you'd get when not self-employed? 2 years is a big investment. Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't like phenomenal or anything, but it made it made enough, I'd say. Yeah. Got a small game idea. I think I'll try to ship. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think scope is one of the biggest killers of indie games. And it's easy to underestimate too. Especially when you look at another game. Like here's something that I think most people would agree is it's easier to clone a game than to make one from scratch. And this actually underpins, I think, a lot of decisions that other game devs make. A lot of times people look at a game and they say, like, okay, I don't know, Super Metroid. They're like, I want to make that, but modern. Or I want to make that, but in a steampunk setting. Or whatever changes you might want to make. And it's like, okay, well, we already have the base game to compare ourselves to and build on. And you don't necessarily see what did they try that failed that never made it into the game. You can see what they tried and failed if it stuck around in the game. You know, there are certainly games with questionable decisions out there. But yeah, with Skeleseller, for example, we made probably, I'm just estimating, like 5 to 10 systems that did not end up in the final game because they weren't fun. So if you were to remake that game just based on what you see on the Steam page, you would not make those systems because they didn't make it into the game. And you might try to make some improvements, but at least you'd have a foundation to work from and you'd be able to tell what works and what doesn't. I think that's a lot of making games, is just figuring out what is even going to be fun. And it's still hard to tell even with how long I've been making games for. Hey, Sombra. And hey, Mohammed. Any reason why you're going 2D games, not 3D? Just personal preference, pretty much. Yeah. All right. Global pause input handler now processes while the item dialog pauses the scene. Listing pause menu can open normally. So this changed one thing, and it's this. And it's that main is always running. We never pause the game other than here. Interesting. I guess we never have a reason to. There are no dialogues in the top-down shooter. There are no dialogues in the Dungeon Racer. There's a dialogue in loot boxes, but it doesn't matter if we pause the game in the background. So this is the first time we've ever needed this. So if you go get this item now and then pause the game. No, but then it closes the... Oh, this is stupid. Yeah, this is really stupid. Shouldn't be able to press the confirm button on the item dialog since that dialog appears to be in the background. I'm just going to give this to Soul. I don't want it to just add some like special code here or something. It should actually like think about this. Otherwise, I'll just change this and yeah, I want to move on from this task basically. All right, so I did not change the treasure chest collision. It is still on top of the treasure chest. Are we saying that that's not a problem though? Or you just stand on it and get an item immediately? Yeah, I think it's fine. Plus, it has to be that way if the boots are going to work, right? So this is done. This isn't really necessary. Yeah, this isn't really necessary. You need the item to progress. We should probably still do it. It's not that hard to do. Yeah, we should probably still do it. All right, I'll do that. Looking at your code notes saying, well, this is stupid. I do think that happens, but I think that is this fun is really hard to do in what seems like a novel way. Like, this is something I've always thought about with computer science interviews, or at least I should say technical interviews. So typically you get some data structure and algorithm questions, and it's something like, let's just say like reverse a linked list. This is actually a bad example. Maybe it's like, come up with the best path between 2 points. You are not inventing an algorithm on the fly. That'd be nuts. Like maybe someone out there is smart enough to do that, but in general, it's like you memorized something like this, and then they throw a twist in it, and you're coming up with it. If you were inventing it on the fly, they would not be asking you questions like this. It'd be something that you would be expected to invent on the fly. Like, I don't know, how do you make a coin sorter or something? You could probably imagine how that might work, and maybe you don't get it totally correct. But these, the way that they're asking elites in big tech and with leak code questions is like, you need to have seen enough patterns to be able to figure out what the gimmick is for this one and apply that knowledge. You are not coming up with algorithms from scratch on your own. And I think of the same thing with game design. A lot of the time, I want to apply my own creativity to the endeavor and not be influenced by other games that are similar to mine. But I can't prevent that I've already played a bunch of games. So if I were to design a game like Zelda, it's like, I can't just forget that I've played Zelda. I played a lot of Zelda games, and I played games like Zelda games. But I could stop myself from playing new ones at least. So yeah, I think that is this fun is very difficult in a vacuum, but no one is really operating in a vacuum, and most people don't really care about more directly copying other games too. Which tier do I pay for? I'm on the $20 a month tier. Yeah. All right. Enemies, I think we do later. I still want to finish the treasure chest stuff, and I think an ad break is going to start pretty soon. I'd like to kick off something else. I'm not sure why this stuff is taking this long. I think maybe part of it is whatever test it's trying to run. Oh, I haven't seen a Godot window pop open. Make it yield to the shared pause menu, including the frame in which a pause menu button closes it. Yeah, we should just be able to mark something as handled. Can I see what's already changed? Yes, I can. Okay, so we do set this as handled here. I don't think I like this. Raise pause requested needs to go all the way up to main, doesn't it? I don't even see that code here, though. Yeah, it's still modifying it. There, yep, there it is in main. And why do we do this? To tell the item dialog. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, so this is a better way of doing this than how I think Luna would have done it. But I won't ever know because I'm not going to go try it. Yeah, all right, this looks pretty reasonable. Cool. Hey, Nightfall. Can you tell me how well it's helping you and whether it's speeding up your development? I think it is drastically speeding up my development. In this particular case, there are a couple problems that are kind of stopping me. One, yes, this has been working for 5 minutes. I think it's coming up with reasonable enough code. I don't know if I would have done this in 5 minutes, but if I were not streaming right now, I probably would have switched to other tasks that are not necessarily even like game dev. Like I'd probably go through this list and I don't know, go handle some other thing. But there, yeah, a couple things stopping me. One, an ad is about to start, and actually, I should probably just go and take my break. And then yeah, two is I haven't planned for pipelining this right now. I wasn't expecting it to take this long, I guess. But yeah, in general, it's like there are a lot of low priority features that I can get done with almost instantly from my perspective. The AI might take some time, but it doesn't take me very much time. And even some of the bigger tasks, it's like I just don't have to think or worry about this as much. Okay, well, like I said, an ad's about to start, so I'll go take my break. I'll be back in a few minutes. Is it jump time? Is it computer? Do you think it is? Are you going to actually kick this off? Is it jump time? It's jump time. Okay, I'll be back in a bit. Hopefully the Godot window doesn't pop up and just ruin this. See you soon. Hello, hello. Hey, Wix. Close the game. And hey, Paratroid. Okay, let's see. So yeah, let's go review this code. I think the general structure of it looked fine to me. This is if the pause menu's open, which we keep track of here. Yeah, I think this is fine. So now we just need to make sure that it works correctly. Yep. Yeah, right. Yeah. This is pretty much what we saw in the diff earlier. All right, how we doing? So I get the item. I press start. I press confirm. The timer, I think, triggers in the background anyway. I think that's okay. Yeah, nice. All right, cool. It's all working. It is all working. So allow pausing while item dialog is open. All right, so make it so the item is at a height. All right, this should be really easy to do. We're going to lower this chest down so that it actually looks like it's where it should be, which should be like right. It's kind of hard to see. Oh, let's put it on this platform. 247. So it is 9 pixels lower or 9 pixels above the tile boundary. This is 295. So what? 6448. 4. Yes, that's correct. Okay, yes. This is exactly correct. All right. And I think you can jump over this. We might change jump heights and everything. Debug mode. Oh yeah, I think we had bots at one point. Did you find bots in the existing code base? Because I think they were there. All right, so this height lets you jump over the arrow. Oh, you can't control your jump height. So as long as we put the arrow where you're jumping, I guess it'd be fine. But then it'd be way higher than the chest. Yeah, I just don't think we do anything about this. You have no reason to skip an item. In fact, you can't skip most of the items because you need them to backtrack and progress. So yeah, just delete this. All right, how do you unlock jumping if you require jumping? So you just put it at a 90-degree angle. So let's write that down over here. The chest for the boots should be at a negative 90-degree angle. So that they pop open into you. Aren't you gonna pick me up? Yeah, I think that would be really good. It is for uncollected items. Okay, this is done. Lower the chest in the world, put it somewhere for now. Yep, changes timing, everything. Yeah, so timing wise, is now fine. I am guessing it is, but let's turn the sound on and listen. It should be okay. We'll try both ways, standing on top and standing next to it. Yeah, I think it's fine. We need a little more juice with this, but otherwise. Yeah. I think that's good. Now, standing on top of the treasure chest, it looks like I'm maybe 1 pixel too high. Treasure chest has a body collision here. Nah, maybe it only looks like I'm 1 pixel too high for the animated ending of this. So we click open and go all the way to the end. Yes, that is correct. Okay, so let's lower this down to here, where it looks like you're actually standing on the chest. Maybe there. I don't know, like one pixel. Sure. So we lowered the chest and then we lowered the collision, or change the collision. Make chest collision better. When the chest is open, it looked like you were standing too high up on it. This might look strange in the game now because we paused the game. And I don't know what the animate. No, that's not possible. Never mind. The animation will always have it be fully open. So if I just go stand on this. Yeah, I think it's fine. Yeah. And then this is relocating the treasure chest onto the ground. relocate treasure chest onto the ground. All right, so that's done. Now we go merge this branch. Git switch main, git merge that. Dunzo. All right, how are we doing on this? 35%. Cool. So let's go add in actual treasure chest with actual abilities. So the boots should be the first one. Then arrows, then yeah, more boots. Okay, so we need the items for this stuff. We gotta go find that. Where are they? Assets here, all in one, items. Armor. Okay, so which one should we use first? There is this armor stroke. I'm assuming that has a black outline. Yeah. Then we have armor stroke 2 with a white outline. And then just regular. So I assume it should have an outline. Should it be white, black, I guess another color? Or am I wrong and it shouldn't have an outline at all? I guess we can always just swap out for something else. They're in exactly the same coordinates, right? Yeah. With that said, I don't know which one would look best. I assume white. Yeah, sure, let's do that. So armor stroke 2. Make a new combo over here. Paste this in. Ooh. Okay. Whoop. Explore. And then we need the... I guess you actually will get arrows. I mean, it should look like you're getting multiple arrows, not just one. So boots, more boots, arrows. I think we start with those. Double stroke. It's just a white outline. It's not doubled. Where is... Huh. Oh, maybe it is doubled? They spaced them out here. They didn't space them over here. Well, this makes it easier to see them all. But like I said, I think it makes more sense to give you arrows and not a bow. Also, I'm realizing this is probably not even an arrow. This is probably like a javelin or something. Maybe it's an arrow. What graphic should we use? Maybe just the one we're already giving you. Yeah. Okay, I want treasure chests in the backtracking platformer to be able to contain different unique items. Put all of these chests into the room where the existing one is. Where the existing chest is. They can be arranged at the same Y coordinate, but farther to the right. Here's an arrow. Gee, thanks. Wow, multiple arrows. So the first chest should contain the boots. Where are the boots? Or rather, which set of boots do we want to use? Those are gloves, right? Yeah. None of these are like super clearly boots, are they? Oh, those are. Yeah, I think because they wanted you to render these on the character. Like this is functional armor, not like armor pickups. But yeah, these look like boots. So I'm thinking the regular boots you get that let you jump, and then maybe I don't know, just another color lets you wall slide. We could actually equip them onto the character too. I don't want to do that though. Wait a second. No, no, no. When I said functional boots, you need to have these in every frame of every animation, right? Yeah. So let's just ignore that for now. And let's go to this and load this up over here. And then go find the exact coordinates of the boots I want to use. These. So it goes from here to here. So the upper left of that is 192, 352. Use the sprite from the attached sprite sheet at 192, 352. And it's 16 by 16. 32 by 32. Just because there's padding around it? Yeah. Okay, sure, fine. Size is 32 by 32. And this set of the jump boots. This set of boots allows the player to jump. That means that before the player obtains these, they should be unable to jump. Okay, the second chest should contain an arrow. Actually, really, it should be a bunch of arrows. But can we do that in a convincing enough way? If we just, let's move that out of the way, move all this stuff out of the way. I just want the arrow. All right, so there's an arrow. There's another arrow. Should we just render like a few of these like that? It doesn't really look like arrows now, does it? Uh, maybe they fan out from the middle. So I like rotate this a little bit. And rotate this one. This was set to 15, so it should be negative 15. Is that good? I think this looks kind of stupid, right? I think it's just that this isn't really centered. Probably need to move one of these down and one of these up. That's decent, right? Maybe even just move this one forward very slightly. It's okay. We could always give you a quiver. I think it's good enough for now. Yeah, I think it's good enough for now. The second chest should contain arrows. Use, what is this called? Where's reveal in Finder or whatever? There it is. Show in file system. Use projectile.png. Like we do for the placeholder item that we have now, but render 3 of them with these coordinates and rotations. First, and these are all offset from some like 0 position. So I gotta put these all back to where they were. Like that. Oh God, now I messed up the numbers. So bad. I mean, I guess we want all of this to be a 0, 0. It's close. It's not there yet. I need to move it like one more pixel to the side. All right, then we just round. Negative 3, 4. 0, 0. And negative 3, negative 4. All right, so negative 3, 4. Rotation 15 degrees. Second, 0, 0. rotation 0. And third, -4, -15. Okay. Okay. And these arrows allow the player to fire their bow. Before obtaining this, the player should be unable to fire arrows. Those are all AI, or they are AI friendly, yeah. Gee, thanks. And the third chest should contain like wall slide boots. What do we call those? Grip boots? Slide boots does not sound right. What would you call them? Grapple boots? Not grapple boots. Actually, what is even allowing you to wall slide in video games where you can wall slide? It's just friction, right? Boots. Maybe hooked boots or something? Or like, I kind of want to just call them grippy boots for now. Grippy boots. Claw boots. Yeah, that could work. Claw boots. Slimed boots. Use the sprite from the attached sprite sheet at Spider-Man shoes. I think we'll get in hot water if we do that. Just a tiny hunch. All right, so claw boots we're going to say are green. You can't convince me otherwise. So that starts at 192,544. 192,544. Size is 32 by 32. This set of boots allows the player to wall slide. Before obtaining these, the player cannot wall slide. Cannot slide down walls or jump from them. Oh my god, I really need to clean this keyboard. Lizard boots. Hey, yep. Hey, Hyper. Coding. Yeah, it does mean the boat. Okay, anything else? Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So we do this one, this one, this one. We're going to do this in a new tree, and I don't think we need to plan this. We could have it plan it. I think just having it do it, I don't think it's going to be that confusing at all. Okay. All right, so the teleport ability. This is going to be, whoops, a little bit harder. So add a teleport ability to the player in backtracking platformer. Sidekick should be unable to use this ability. The ability should be triggered by pressing the aux 1 button, auxiliary 1. And the way that it works is it should attempt to teleport the player either left or right. No vertical movement. By, let's say, 5 tiles. 5 might even be too much. Yeah. Now, what happens if you are here and there are like a bunch of walls in front of you, but there's actually space for you in between one of these walls? Should put you, I shouldn't think about this too much. I've never seen someone build that in Game Maker. I've never used Game Maker, I think, so I don't know what the limitations are or anything. But something I don't know if these are merged or if they're different products or something, but there's an RPG Maker. A lot of RPG Maker games look very similar to me. Wasn't Undertale made in one of these? Like Game Maker or something? Game Engine? Game Maker, yeah. All right, the ability should be triggered by pressing aux 1. The way that it works is it should attempt to teleport the player either left or right, no vertical movement by 5 tiles. It cannot teleport you out of the bounds of the entire map. It can't land you inside of a wall. It should find the nearest tile after the wall if it's still within a 5 tile distance. Otherwise, it should find the nearest tile before the wall. The nearest, like, yeah, I'll say walkable. And that's probably pretty much it, right? Is there anything else? We eventually need this to be an item. It has the Z-axis. You can't make 3D games in it. Sidekick should be unable to use this ability only player. Ability should be triggered by pressing aux 1. The way it works is it should attempt to teleport the player either left or right, no vertical movement by 5 tiles. Cannot teleport you out of the bounds of the entire map. If you use this at the leftmost wall of the world, it should at the leftmost side of the world facing left, should not teleport you beyond that particular wall, even if it's only 1 tile thick. It can't teleport you inside of a wall. It should find the nearest walkable tile after the wall if it's within this. Yeah, and so we have code that does something similar to this logic. Where was that? It was some safety code that I made. I think I wrote the word safety next to it. I wrote the word however in the comment. That might not help me. How many of these do we have in the code base? Oh, only 13. We should be able to find it then. There it is. Maybe a better idea to switch to a nav mesh or a navigation region 2D. Okay. Watching this YouTube video on how hackers are repurposing AI chat help from companies. Oh, to do, yeah. That is pretty funny. But you might want to be careful because that might be cause for them to like shut down your account. I don't know what you might lose by doing that. But for me, for example, if I were to lose, let's say, my Google account, I would be very mad. Because there are a lot of services I use and a lot of like on YouTube, I have a bunch of videos saved, like thousands of hours. So yeah, I would not want to lose that stuff. All right, ability should be triggered by pressing this. The way it works is just have to teleport. Okay, so we'll make this planet. And then we'll go take a look at whether something is waiting for input. It's not. Okay. So this is probably going to burn through quite a lot of our quota here. We don't have very much remaining anyway. I might at lunchtime sign up for Open Code Go and give it a shot. I've got some credits inside Rider, with 10 monthly credits, and I'm getting these for free because Rider gave me the license for all of their products. And then they also gave me 40 credits through the CLI. I'm not even actually totally sure how to use that. But I haven't really been using these. So we could overflow onto this for a little bit. And these were set on the 6th. So it's like, I haven't really been using them any of these months. Didn't think about that. Yeah. Yeah. I think in terms of impact, probably most people losing access to their email or their photos or whatever is probably pretty big. But losing access to Amazon, I'm trying to think like not being able to see your past orders might matter. Not being able to order anything in the future might matter. And I guess they have like a million other services now too, right? So like you might lose access to video streaming or maybe even Twitch. I don't know. I don't know what they would block, or they block your whole Amazon account. Note, I didn't have the AI add the item for this. If I did, we need to pick a bracelet we want this to be. Like I said, I don't even know if these are bracelets, but it doesn't matter because once we call it a bracelet, that's what the player is going to think. So which style? Oh, this kind of looks like a ring. We say you're like ring of teleportation. Yeah, I kind of like that. In which case, I think either this color or the black or the red might be best. I don't know. We can always change colors. I should just pick one of these. Yeah, let's go with that one. Except for I'm in the wrong program. I want to be over here. All right, so this is at 544, 864. Ring of tele. Oh, I forgot to tell it about making the smoke effect. I don't actually have one of those. Well, we'll write that down over here. So this will just like randomly teleport you. Teleportation should have a smoke effect or something. Also, it should probably work in the space shooter, right? I didn't even think of that. Oh, maybe I should have put more thought into this. Oh, I did not put thought into this. So you start in the Metroidvania game, and then I mentioned this already. You get the high jump boots, and they jump so high that you launch into space. At this point, the game becomes a space shooter. You're still an archer shooting arrows at ships. So, like, jumping makes no sense. So, that's fine. We just get rid of that. Arrows still make sense. But then the teleportation ability, I did not think about. Should you still be able to use this in space? And what would it do? I mean, the most obvious thing is it would just teleport you forward a little bit. Does that help you? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I guess so. Maybe it helps you dodge bullets. Yeah. All right. Well, where did I write down this stuff about transition into space? Here it is, space shooter. You should not be able to jump in space. So controls, you can now hold down the fire button and you'll loop through the shooting animation. You'll also fire arrows on practically every frame. You should not be able to jump in space. The teleport ability should probably still work. Maybe it can work in any direction now. Web chat interface to have it work. I've been having some success with that when my limits are reached. Oh, I've heard about this. Because, yeah, you have like vastly different limits there. I have not tried that. Honestly, my my tendency is toward frugality. But I've tried to convince myself that as soon as I like feel AI limits, I want to solve them with money, not with ingenuity. So I think I'd either go from the $20 a month plan to the $100 a month plan, or I think I'm going to try like Open Code Go and see if that's good. It's $5 for the first month. So if I'm like, well, the quality is bad, then fine, I just don't stick with it. But if it's like, okay, well, I've run out of my Codex plan, now let me switch to this, and it's passable, well, ideally good, then yeah, sure. But yeah, I don't want to try to get too crafty with this. New account created. Well, just so you know, they might be able to fingerprint your device or something and know that it's still you. Like they know which IP addresses you're connecting from. There's probably some like browser fingerprinting they might even use. So yeah, just be careful with that. Which models you use? OpenCode Go is like a combination of a bunch of different things you could use. So all these that you see here. And of these, I mean, the ones that have the smallest numbers are probably the best ones because they don't give you very many. Well, these aren't even. It's not like conversations in codecs. They do things based on requests, and one prompt maybe many requests. So I don't know what would feel right here. I don't know how long it would last in terms of a plan. They have 3 different rate limits. There's a 5-hour one, a weekly one, and a monthly one. And yeah, I don't know how these all interact with one another. Okay, here's apparently how. So you get roughly 2.5 times your 5 hours. So you can do 2.5 like 5-hour sessions per week for 2 weeks. I think that's how this works. Is that right? Yeah. So I guess depending on what you use, you might want to switch models and one of these gives you, yeah, like this apparently gives you like practically infinite, right? 150,000 requests. I don't know how you'd ever hit that. But yeah. You're no fun. I mean, yeah, I'm trying to help you. If you don't want the help, fine, go burn through all your accounts. Currently shoots the player's bow. What should happen when shooting? Oh, whoops. Yeah, move to auxiliary too. I did not realize that. Yeah. At the unchanged y coordinate, what should count as a valid teleport destination? Collision-free space. Works on the ground or in midair and only requires the full character shape to avoid world collision. Yeah. How should the 5-tile search behave when a wall interrupts the horizontal path? First space beyond. Cross the wall, the first character size, free position beyond it within 5 tiles. Otherwise, stop at the closest. Yep, that's exactly right. Very neat. Very, very neat. Okay, so while this is working, we really should flesh out the world. So let's go take a look at that. And I'll keep this open on my other monitor so I can tell when it's waiting for input. Because I don't get these notifications while I'm streaming. Oh, whoops. This wasn't supposed to stick around. Whoops, whoops, whoops. Well, that already made it into the other changes. Whatever. All right, so backtracking room 1. Let's take a look. Any chests in a chest? That is pretty funny. You open a treasure chest and get another treasure chest? I'll write that down. Ideas from chat. Okay, first things first. J and M are double typing. Let me just take both of these off and clean them. Yeah, we have a cat. Cat hair gets everywhere. There we go. I have to clean this keyboard like once a month. All right, so jump, 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 jump. No, it's still double typing the M sometimes. Okay, yeah, I was gonna work on these maps. So I need to look at one of these pictures because ain't no way I'm figuring this out on my own because I do not have any artistic ability whatsoever. So we're gonna try to roughly copy this. Yeah, let's just open this in a new tab in here. And I want you to keep in mind that I am the I don't know what I'm doing dog. This is me. So you might be frustrated watching this. All right, let's go find that picture. All right, so we're just going to focus on the foreground for now. And yeah, we have all the tiles right here. the way they set this up is they're repeating tiles internally, these, I guess. And I should be able to just draw them in like that, right? And then put these on the side. No, that's not what we have. So I said I don't know what I'm doing. That's what we want. So could we make a terrain out of this and make it easier to connect? Probably. Because, yeah, how are you supposed to use these? Oh, and they might have envisioned that you could actually jump through these from the bottom. I don't actually know. All right, well, I do not like this work. Well, let's read through the plan. That a player only fixed Y teleport activated by Aux 1, move bow shooting to Aux 2. Okay, well, that was activated by Aux 2. Yeah, so anywhere else that auxiliary 1 is written. Add no cooldown. I mean, there should probably be a cooldown, right? We'll worry about that later, but I didn't even think of that either. We probably want a cooldown for this ability, or else you would never need to walk again. That may be funny, though. Any other aux things written here? Aux. Yes, several. All right, well, we'll fix them as we read through them. Oh, right. Okay, well, then it should probably fix that comment. Fix the comment above this. Why is it not copying? Oh, it's copying changes. There we go. We can't use a nav region. Or at least not exactly. Everything with nav regions is based on 1x1 points. All right, configured only for the player after the active room starts. Suppose can teleport and try teleport. Sidekick returns false and ignores Aux 1 and ignores Aux 2. Well, actually, they ignore both Aux 1s. Aux. Whatever. On each press, teleport. This try, shoot, and bow behavior remains unchanged. We don't even need to write that. Calculate one tile from the active foreground's tile set. Inspect candidates at 1 through 5 tile offsets. If all candidates are valid, select the 5th. Once a blocked or out of bounds candidate is encountered. Okay, yeah, this is pretty reasonable, actually. It always goes in tile distances. I wasn't thinking about that. It should simplify this. Preserves velocity. I didn't even think of that either. Everything else is fine. Extract reusable collision shaped probe. Wait, if it preserves your animation, that means you can shoot and teleport at the same time. I need to change that. See how shooting and teleporting interact with one another. Collision shape probe and allowed position calculation. Also, maybe L and R should do the teleporting. Yeah, I'll write that down too. All right, that's fine. Collision free, first valid space, preserve existing translation state. Is it? It's already made the work tree, right? Yeah, work tree created. So I don't need to do anything else. Yeah, sure, implement this. And then what's this waiting for? Validation. Launch the test scene briefly to capture and visually verify. Yes, sure. Okay. I don't like that this now has sounds playing for it. But that's super cool. It did work. Very neat. All right, well, I was going to work on this now. And yeah, my first question is, what in the world are we doing with this? Round tile. Yeah, is there a guide on this? Some artists release guides with their tile sets to tell you how you're supposed to use them. I don't. Whoops. I don't think so. I gotta write that down at some point. Figure out why the tests that Codex runs have sounds playing. I don't want that happening. How do you use these? README. This is only 2 kilobytes, so it's very unlikely that it's going to have any information in it that I actually... Oh, I made this. I think I made this. Yeah, I think I made this. Shows the 1 coin price, like in the treasure game. I think we can get things glitchier and glitchier later in the game. I think we can have all sorts of like shared mechanics and stuff. I'll write this down too. When it comes to glitching up the game, there are a lot of general ideas. A lot of, I just say ideas. Like use assets from other games, play multiple games at once, use mechanics that make no sense, etc. Yeah. All right, so yeah, I do not know how to use these. And I'd love to go figure it out. How are you supposed to do this? I mean, it's one of these 6 would have someone asking the same question that I have, right? How do you use this? No one's left a comment asking about this? Hmm. Yeah, I think this is set up for RPG Maker. There's some tool that lets you convert between these. What is that called? RPG Maker tile map converter. This. What do the RPG Maker styles show up as? Tile map layer tool. Here it is. All right, so if I put one of the images over here, tile set, this one, tiles, I guess ground tile. Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, I gotta change this, right? Yeah, but none of these are gonna work. I think I need to. Oh, that's decent. What format is this in? They're not top-down tiles. This might not make sense what I'm even trying to do. But this makes it look at least a little bit more usable, I guess. I don't know what it's doing though. Hmm. Yeah. I don't know what format this is in. This 3x3 seems like it gives the best outcome here. So I would save this. And when it comes to using them, I guess I'd make terrains out of this. Example inputs. No, nothing looks like this. Yeah, I don't like, should I be splitting these up? Or are these just random bricks I'm supposed to put in the background? I would love some guidance on that. 100 tiles. Yeah, I don't even see them mention like a game engine or a format lava update. I don't think I'm gonna find any information in here either. No, they're literally just like, hey, here's some new files. All right. Yeah, I don't know. Excuse me. I hate when I hiccup at the end of a laugh or cough. Okay. Well, I got to figure that out. And I don't know how we're going to do that. I either leave a comment or we could just try using this tool and this output. It's probably a little bit better. It doesn't have all the graphics in it though. It just took the 3x3 section over here and laid them out a little bit differently. Yeah. Yeah. You miss it? Hey, Jesta. What is there to miss about hiccuping? It's a nuisance. You loved it. Maybe I would miss sneezing or something. I don't know. Even that. I think I'd probably just be like, oh, I'll never sneeze again in my life. As long as it's cause health problems. Yeah, I don't know how you're supposed to use this. Because there are all these like partial platforms here. All right, you know what? Let's just mess around with this. Let's just see if I were to paste this in like, I don't know, let's say we have that there. Yeah, this doesn't just go anywhere. And there's no continuous, like you had to use these if you wanted to be a continuous platform, right? Oh man. There's a program called Tiled. Is that what you're looking for? No, I just want to figure out what is the style, like what format is this in? How am I supposed to use these particular tiles? Like where do they go? And maybe I don't even think they're really being used here. I guess they're just used for the ledges, like this section. So basically just corners. Yeah, I think that's it. But everything is in the same format. And it's just really hard to tell. Yeah, maybe we just ignore those tiles. I don't really even see them being used very much in any of these, right? Okay. I think that's our answer. Just ignore them. Because yeah, I don't know. They even show in this picture. Like, what's this whole block? What is all that supposed to be used for? Not really meant to be used altogether. Maybe not. Yeah, and I see it occasionally, like in the desert one. I think this is maybe where it's getting used. This tiny little pillar that's there. All right, so this is done. I'll just mark this on red. The other one is still working through. And what are we burned down to? Yeah, 24%. Hmm. All right. So how do we make this as usable as possible? Could we make a terrain out of this? I don't even remember how you do this. Oh, we need to go to tile set. Pattern. Tile map editing mode. Drag and drop or paste a tile map selection here to store a pattern. Oh, I see. But terrains, I don't remember how you add terrains. Oh, right. You got to make a terrain set. Add element, testeroni. All right, here we go. So now I go assign them to different terrains, I think. So I click this and go to terrains. Yeah, terrain set. Set this to whatever this is. 0. Yeah, now it should show up in here. I don't know what I'm doing. I've done this before and I always forget. And let's just look it up. Terrain. All right, terrain set. Give you a Godot tile map layer, tile set, terrain sets. The order of them there dictates the ID. Yeah, this is terrain set 0. Oh, do I need to set this to 0 as well? Oh, isn't there a terrain painting thing? Yes, there is. Terrain set 0. Okay, great. Yeah, this is how we would do it. And this would let us figure out the pairing as well. What am I doing? Oh, I got to do this. Yeah, so something like this, but they need to be using different peering masks. And now what we can finally paint this in, and it's going to do nothing. Yeah, I think it just randomly picks one of the tiles because they all match. So if we want, we'd have to change this so that these bits are off and these are off. Then it will work and we can make a contiguous line now that just repeats the middle bit. Yeah, that's maybe a little bit more usable. Andy, are these the edges so it looks more organic? So some of them are edges. I don't, I honestly do not totally understand what these inner ones are for. I think it's maybe for platforms that are in the middle of other tiles in case you wanted to like jump up from the bottom. But I can't make sense of why there are, what is this, like 12 and then another, no, it's 16. So there's like 28 of these tiles I don't understand. Yeah. You find you're burning through all your tokens every month, or is it weekly? It's weekly, and I don't usually, unless I'm trying. I think it got easier though in the last week. I think Codex is testing out on some accounts, like what if we sell reset top ups? All right, anyway, yeah. So we could make some terrains like this, which will make it easier to draw these in. I guess from there we could add to the terrain. So paint in like this, this can't, they can't be the same shape. So we gotta like cut that out. So we just draw a little donut around here. There. So now I think we should be able to paint in. Oh, and I guess fill in the middle. Now we should be able to draw in any part of this. I only see 3 tiles there, so something got messed up. How did I screw this up? There we go. Okay, yeah. So this would let us draw some platforms a little bit more easily. It's not going to be great, and they all need to match this like exactly. So they don't connect all that well. Yeah. Hmm. I think if I just knew what these other things are for, it might be better. I mean, what else do we want to? Yeah, I don't know. We make another terrain for like thin blocks. Try to use more, maybe. No, just use the Amazon chat. Who needs it? Am I assigning these to these layers? I think I am. Terrain 0. Terrain -1. Yeah, I am doing that. -1. Yeah, so we need to make terrains for these other ones. I cannot make sense of this. Let's just ask ChatGPT, see if it knows. All right, mark this as unread. And just scroll down to chat. Okay, so I got the attached, bought the attached graphic from here. I want to use it in my Godot game. I don't recognize the structure of the sprite sheet though. How am I supposed to make sense out of most of the tiles? Usually they're in a known format that lets me use auto tiling in Godot. All right. Do you have agents set up, etc.? Any good site, or have you documented your use so far? I've not gotten that far yet. So, I mean, this is technically using an agent. I think you might be talking about skills. I don't think you need too much out of the box. Allow to view the contents. Yeah, that's why I pasted it in. Yeah, I don't think you need too much out of the box. And then as you go, anything you find wrong, you can just throw it in like an agent's MD file. So I tell it, hey, this is what I'm making. Here's how you run some things. Here's how you test. Here's some just general coding philosophies that I have. Here's how you localize. But I built this up over time. Like I saw it make a mistake and I'm like, oh, don't do that. And the way I told it not to do that is by modifying this. And then, yeah, it tends to dump things in a file where there's related code. So I have a skill that I made that has it refactor that code. And I use it every once in a while. But like I said, starting out, you can just use it, see where you find it making mistakes. Hey, McNeil. I'm doing pretty well. Yeah. How are you doing? My idea is to have one full platform in the middle and a half one next to it, so it looks more organic. Yeah. Basically, how it looks here, I think, is pretty good. And if this is all I ever end up making, this is fine. But I think I'd like to understand how I'm supposed to use these middle ones. And yeah, maybe I should just like paint them in and find out. Like if I put one there and then this other one here. Like maybe that'd be a platform you go stand on and it just looks fine. And then this is if it's dark above it instead of below it. And this is if there's a connector on bottom. Okay, yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe it's just what tile is above or below it. So this is if there's dark on bottom, dark on top, the border on bottom, and then neither border. Okay, I think I can make sense of that. And then same thing with left and right. Then what about these? I guess it's the same general idea. Do they have a block that... Yeah, they have that. Yeah, I just think this will be tedious to make. Maybe we need... Can I come up with a terrain brush for this? Maybe. Yeah. Well, anyway, okay. So let's go take a look at these. And what time is it? 11:40. Yeah, I'm not going to spend too much longer on this because I want to go get lunch pretty soon. So implemented unique chest rewards. This took 32 minutes. Nuts. I feel like it's gotten slower. So I should probably just stash this stuff for now. Git stash. Okay. And then I'll write down that I stashed this. I stashed what I was working on. I think I would want more terrain brushes to make it easier. I should make a guide or something on how to set up those brushes. Hey, Mystical Cell, how you doing? Okay, so let's go try this. Work tree local. So this is for treasure chests and items. Merge this. All right, let's test it out. So I think this is going to fail right from the very beginning because we don't have a way to jump, so we don't have a way to get the boots. So yeah, I cannot jump, I can't shoot, I can't do anything. So I'm gonna open this, it's gonna give me boots, but I won't be able to fetch them. Yeah. Okay, so here's how we fix that. We go into the scene and we take the very first chest and we rotate it -90. There we go. So now you will get the boots because they'll go out to the left. First day off in over a month, man. What are you doing today? That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. All right, so we can't jump. We open this up. It gives us boots. They're rotated. Now we can jump, but we can't wall slide and we can't shoot. So now we open this up and we get arrows. That's a little weird, but okay. And now we can shoot, but we still can't wall slide. Yep. And then we open up the final chest over here and we might not be able to get this item. Nope. It's impossible. Unless you can approach it from the other direction. Nope. Yep. Unobtainable. Okay, well, let's just put this up here. And same thing with that. These are not the resting places for these chests, by the way. It's just testing this out. Rest, test, chest. All right, so we get the boots. Oh, I almost messed this up. You actually can make it up here still, and you would be able to from the other side. So this gives you claw boots. Nice. And now you can do this. Yeah. Yeah. But you could just jump off the screen. Actually, you could jump back in over there. Can you make it up here? I don't think so. I think now I'm trapped. Unless I slide enough. No. Yeah, I'm trapped. Is there a way to turn it? Oh, wait, I made it up. Maybe there is. I'm not sure. Cleaning around the house. So it's not really a day off. Well, the chilling part is. But yeah, I hope you're able to relax. All right, well, cool. It did not localize this correctly, or rather, it didn't pull in the localized code. I'll have it do it through Luna. I pulled the workspace in locally, but I don't think I got the translation changes. Can you pull those into my working tree? Hey, Buck. It's made Godot doesn't splash. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't recall if I got rid of it for Skeleton. Maybe I just didn't turn off the option for this because there is a splash screen thing and I never customized it. Boot splash. Yeah, we should customize this. I had not thought about this. I'll write this down over here. Set up a boot splash screen. Like I did for Skeleton. Yeah. Okay. So I'll pull in the translations. We got to move the treasure chests again. I'll do that. But then I got to get food pretty soon, like I said. Move the chests again so that they're easier to get. I think it's worth mentioning which engine you use. Yeah, but I typically do that like on the storefront page. Like I think I did that here. Okay, apparently if you search for Godot, it doesn't show up. But I could have sworn... Huh, that is weird. Could have sworn I had done that. Did I not? Steam, how to see which game engine was used. I did on itch. I thought you could do this on Steam. Search by game engine. How do you find it? Oh, maybe like SteamDB has it? Because I know for sure I have this somewhere on there. Yeah, technology, Godot engine. Where is this on Steam? I don't understand. I manifested it somewhere. I don't see it there. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's under read more. No, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, SteamDB shows it. Bet they're exempt. I think you could just stop it. I mean, you could always just change the engine and get rid of it if you wanted to. Because it's open source. But I'm pretty sure you can just override it. In fact, you know, how about this? Let me just start up Scala Seller and we'll see what happens. Because I just don't remember. Yeah, we show this. We don't show Godot. So yeah, it's definitely possible. All right, what was I doing? Oh yeah, pulling in the translations. So this should be done now. So now when we go get the items, we should see their localized names in English and their descriptions. I just didn't want to have to write that out. So we get this. Jump boots allows you to jump. Okay. Arrows allows you to arrows. And claw boots allows you to claw. Nice. Yeah, good. So worried about my job? A couple of lawsuits going on. A ton of people are striking, trying to be a union. Oh, man. Yeah, and you just switched, right? Oh, man. Yeah, this is not the first job woe message today either. Corpsey was here talking about being made redundant. Oh, that's a very different cause, at least. I think I'm too hungry to look through this right now. Yeah, I think I'm too hungry to look through this. I'm gonna go get food. All right, so where I left off, I need to review the code. I was too hungry before lunch to focus. Yeah, let's leave it there. Okay, well, it is 11:50. I was very torn on whether I even wanted to stream in the afternoon. And it's been about 3 hours and 20 minutes. I think I will. Yeah, I think I will. I think I'll work through some of this stuff. And we'll just stop maybe after a couple hours or something. And then tomorrow will be music day. So we'll do some composition. We'll try to work on some ambient music for this. I don't really think it's going to go very far, though. Mainly happening in the northeast part of the U.S. Wow, yeah. Yeah. Hey, Anna, honey. You really want to go too? You could always start. Yeah. And here I am. Okay, well, thank you all for watching. I'll be back in about an hour, maybe a little bit longer. Actually, probably longer. Yeah. Because I'm getting lunch with my wife, and I think we were going to watch Ted Lasso. So I don't know how long the episode is, but yeah, I'll probably be back around like 1:30, and I'll probably be back until maybe like 3:30 or something. Long then. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, take care, everyone. Nice to see you all. Hope you have a good rest of your day. Until next time.